Good evening, everyone. Hope I am audible and visible. We'll begin the session of Soapbox today with the post for the post of Student General Secretary. I request the candidate Aniket Singh Patel to present your screen and give your presentation. You will have 8 minutes to present. Please.
Okay, yeah, sure. Thanks. Is my screen visible?
Yes, it is visible.
Okay, thanks. Thanks for the confirmation. So, hello all. I am Aniket Singh Patel, contesting for the post of Student General Secretary. So, my vision for this is firstly, inclusive community building, then cultivating a sense of belonging among students, then focus on cleanliness and sustainability, and then safe and convenient campus facilities. So, these are my vision for the SG. Then coming to the campus facilities. So first of my points is installation of a bus stop at Gajan Circle towards the hostel zone road for easy access. Then setting up of a night canteen in the admin area. Then designating dedicated sitting areas in common spaces such as the HFC lounge and Sangam ground side area. Then installing light poles on the roadsides in areas identified by students' feedback. Then opening a stationery shop in the academic zone for student convenience. Then coming to the inclusiveness and well-being, my first point is incorporating inclusiveness, mental wellness, and awareness on drugs and self-defense techniques into the GN course. Then forming a student inclusion cell to work for the development and support of students with disabilities. Then proposing the formation of a student support cell to assist students with various matters, including the financial crisis, reimbursement, and loan procedures from the institute. Then launching TEDx IITM talks to inspire and motivate students. Then coming to the community building, I will be creating a buy and sell page in the institute's online community like Viman or Institute Space. Then organizing an inter-hostel lighting and decoration competition, which will be Light Fest during the festival of Diwali. Then organizing cultural competitions as part of the ethnic fest, and in that winners will be decided based on the judging criteria and public voting. Then coming to the health and academics, there will be a provision for proper first aid, supplies, and ice packs in all hostels with regular checks and refills by the hostel general secretary or health and hygiene secretary of that hostel with the help of the DMC team. Then establishing clubs for GATE, IES, and CAT preparations. Then placing well-maintained dustbins at strategic locations across the campus to ensure cleanliness and maintenance of existing dustbins. And then my credentials are, I am currently the General Secretary of Saraswati Hostel, then core of Executive Committee, core of Disaster Management Committee, and core of Institute WebOps team, and head of Academic Mentorship Cell. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Aniket. Now I request the Executive Council members to ask the questions, please.
Hi. So I'm audible, right?
Yes,
Hello?
you are audible.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, you are audible.
Okay. So hi, Aniket. Okay. So you have mentioned that you want to construct a bus stop at Gajan Circle. Why do you want to do this, and what is the motivation? Or also, where do you want to, exactly what is the location where you want to, have this bus stop?
Okay, yeah. So installing a bus stop means like the place where the bus from GC bus comes towards the hostel zone side. There the bus stops at the Gajan Circle. So at that point the bus already stops, but there is no place for sitting. So like there is no stop for sitting and shelter. So my point is putting a bus stop at that point. Like bus already stops there, just putting a sitting space and a shelter space. So it's like that. So exactly it will be at the GC, the area which is between GC and that library. So that area I will be putting that bus stop.
Aniket, do you mind switching on your video?
Yeah.
Can you switch on your video?
Video, like I am facing some technical issues, so it's not getting on.
Okay.
Now try. I think so. I have given you access to switch on the video. I'm sorry for the technical glitch from my part. Try once again.
No, from my side, I am facing some technical issues. It's saying some other. It's only on that side. I don't know what's the issue coming.
Or now also it's coming the same for you?
Yeah.
Okay. Then it must be from your end.
Yeah, so okay, I can go, right? So yeah, so from where will you get the money for it? Can you explain?
Okay, so the thing will be, I will be forwarding this initiative to the engineering unit. I have already talked to Sinisara sir, engineering unit chairman, and then have conveyed this to dean of planning.
Okay, fine. Okay, in inclusiveness and well-being, you have mentioned 2 points, second and third. The points look same for me. Why you have mentioned 2 points? Students inclusion cell, like 2 times. It's the same thing, right? If you are forming some cell, the second point can be, third point can be included in the second point itself in the feasibility, right? Instead of writing again.
Which point? Like student inclusion cell and student support cell, that point?
Yeah. So you have written 2 times. It's the same thing. I don't think there is a different that you have formed 2 groups actually.
I will try to explain a bit about both of them. Yeah. So starting student support cell. So first of all, student support cell is for all students, and student support cell will be working towards financial things. Like basically, if any student has financial crisis, so that support cell will be helping him in arranging the finances, then reimbursement, like loan reimbursements, and what is the procedure to take loan from the institute. In all these things, student support cell will be helping the students. So it's for that. And coming to student inclusion cell, it will be working with DOST inclusive education, which is Sophia ma'am. So with that person, it's working, and it is only for students with disabilities. So it will be totally handling all the matters related to students with disabilities. So both the things are like different in that manner.
Okay. Okay, so you have openings. You have mentioned that opening a stationery shop in academic zone. Whom did you take the feasibility for it?
Yeah, so opening a shop in the academic zone, for this, I have talked to Dean Admin about this. So Dean Admin has said like, yeah, we will be working on this. Like, yeah, it's a feasible idea, and then we will be looking at it. Also, he questioned me like why it's needed in that area. So I told her like, if any students need this, like basically there are many PG students also they are working during the working in that area most of the time. So stationery shop in that area must be very much helpful for the students. Either of them being at Primark, it's also there, but having at that location in the academic zone, it might be very much helpful as compared to it having here also. There also we can have that. Okay. So that, and also I talked about this to Shiva sir. So as Dean of Students, Shiva sir. So he also told, yeah, it's feasible.
Okay, so for that you have to float a tender. Who will float the tender for it?
Floating a tender will be done by Dean Admin from Dean Admin side.
No, Dean Admin don't do it. There is a body for it. Do you know which body does the tendering part of administration side? Especially whatever body comes under administration, there is a cell which takes care of tendering part. Do you know all this? Who is the guy? Which
Tender committee?
No. There is no tender committee in administration.
Oh, okay. No, so I am not aware of that. Sorry.
Okay. So there is a E-state cell. There is a Dean DR administration who is also in charge of E-state cell. They take care of all this tendering part of administration side. Okay.
Okay, I will be taking this.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So provision of first aid supplies, ice packs in all hostels. So okay, you want to supply in hostels. That means you will be taking money from hostels, right? Or from the students' money.
Students' money. Yeah.
Why? This can be done by the hostel secretaries from the hostel level.
See, like basically my exact plan is like first aid they will be buying. I expect they will be buying in maintenance like first aid, like proper supply of medicines that will be done by the DMC team side in collaboration with our institute hospital, like proper supply after every 15 days, something like that. That like the medicines are supplied properly. So that part DMC team will be handling, and first aid and all that respective hostel DMC team will be making sure that respective hostels have that first aid kit. And if it's not there, like we found that some hostels like Tower Hostel don't have general secretaries, HHS. So if it's not there, then DMC team will be approaching their respective hostels manager and making sure that every hostel has that first aid facility and then ISPEC facility.
Okay, then you told money will take from Struct, then where the money part is coming? There's no money involved, only like manpower is involved by DMC team.
Okay, yeah, only manpower. And like if medicines for taking medicines from the institute hospital, if any money is required, then we will be giving, otherwise not.
Still, even if medicine is required for a specific kind of any specific medicine, if you required for hostel can give money for it. No, hostel secretaries, especially health and hygiene secretaries, there for it. He can get money from his own budget.
Okay.
So please check it.
Ajay, just a follow up on this question, can I ask?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so Aniket, you have said you will supply ice packs to all hostels. Are you aware of how many hostels have freezers?
How many hostels have? No, exactly, I'm not aware. I've not checked it. But
don't you think you should check about freezers before supplying ice packs?
Yeah, right.
Because that will be a much bigger cost investment, and if there are no freezers, there is no point of sending ice packs. And if so, if they want the budget for that, where will that come from?
Right. Yeah, I need to check like if hostels have ice packs or not. Well, sorry, hostels have refrigerators or not. That thing I need to check.
Have you done any sort of survey about the hostels, or have you talked to a considerable number of Gensecs or health and hygiene secretaries about this, whether they have first aid supplies or do they have a requirement for this point?
Like a requirement is there, like talking to the people, like general student body, talking to the general people, they said first aid supplies are required in the hostels. And
I mean, yes, it's required, but I think most hostels have, if I'm not wrong. Ajay, I think most hostels are required to keep one, right?
Yeah. Hostels are required, but I think maintenance is not there. But specifically for ice pack, you need a refrigerator, and many hostels, many have a refrigerator, but some of them don't have, I think. Yeah.
Some of them, right. Some of them don't have, right.
So you check the feasibility first, how many hostels have a refrigerator. If they don't have, then they should buy before you put ice packs there.
Yeah, right.
What is the motivation to establishing clubs like CAT and GATE for IAS preparation? Because it doesn't come under SGS. It's just part of academic affairs secretaries. CDC team is there. Like they can do. You should have pitch them key. You can do all this. The both candidates who are standing for academic affairs secretary. Why you want to do it?
Yeah, like we already have a team under, like we already have a Pragati team, which was initiated by you. Under that team, we have UPSC club. So what I'm having a plan is like UPSC club and AMC also, it should be under that vertical Pragati. So I am planning to bring both these clubs under that vertical. And yeah, like it can be done by academic affairs secretary also, but like they were having some other things, like that's why I didn't went into that side, and I brought it under my domain, like CAT club and GATE IES club. So the club could be run by students, like, or with the support of faculty members. So I'm planning like that, same as the UPSC club.
So okay, if if tomorrow when you get elected, some from Dean says you have to shift Pragati from SGS to academic affairs secretary, will you shift it?
No, for the time being.
Why? At the end you have to follow what Dean says, no, not you think.
Yeah, right. If the Dean says like, I will be seeing like for what reason he's saying that, and if it's like the reasons are like not feasible, if the reasons are valid and something like that, then I will be ready to shift it.
Okay. And again, then what if they don't follow what you are proposing? Let's say this CAT and GATE and IES, they are not following properly. Then what is the main use of you bringing some clubs under it?
Like if they are not following, then I can again go to Dean. Like if he's firstly saying to give it to S, and then if S is not doing that, then I will be like talking. I can talk to him like, sir, if it's not done like that, the way which I proposed, so I need to bring it back to me. So in that way, I will be working in that direction.
Mhm. Okay. Okay, tell me how many deans are there, and I want names of all deans.
How many?
How many deans are there? Like, how many deans are there, and how frequently you will visit those deans?
So as I know, there are 9 deans and 1 associate dean is there.
Mm-hmm. Can you name them?
Yeah. So one is dean of students, then dean of academic courses, then dean of academic research, then dean ACR, dean G, then dean planning, dean faculty, dean admin, and then dean ICSR. And then the ICSR one has associate dean also there. Total 9 deans and 1 associate dean.
Okay, so like let's say you have like, when will you go to meet Dean ICSR, if you know? What is the use of Dean ICSR, especially for General Secretary?
Also, what is the full form of ICSR?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Dean ICSR like.
Yeah, full form first. You can give what has Rudra asked.
Full form of Dean ICSR.
Uh,
Dean ICSR, I think it's international. Sorry, I am not aware of exactly.
Then how do you know what work he will do, and you are having some work with him?
I don't know exactly, but I think it's industrial consultancy and sponsored research something. I'm not exactly sure about that.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's right. Fine. So, like, what work will you have, like, as a General Secretary?
As a General Secretary, what work I will have in that? Sorry, I'm not aware of that.
So then what is the use of, like, do you know what is the use of ICSR Dean? What he does for IIT Madras and why he exists?
Bringing sponsorships.
Oh, he brings his sponsorships.
Yeah, for the institute.
Or any team under him.
Yeah. Like for the institute, and then for like any of the things like it's required for the sponsorship, then he will be helping us out, helping the student community.
No. You are totally, mistaken. This is not what Dean is. ICSR. He's a Dean. There is a cell under him, like entire body, and that takes care of industrial relations of IIT Madras. He don't care about sponsorship or anything. He's just a person who takes care of industrial relations to IIT Madras, and companies actually sponsored a lot of programs of IIT Madras. That's why his name is Industrial Corporation, Industrial Consultancy, and Sponsored Relations. Okay. Okay. Other people, other executive members, if they have questions.
Yeah. Can you give an example of some sponsored research, Aniket? Like Ajay was mentioning, a lot of companies sponsor research. There, can you mention any example if you know?
Sponsored research.
Yeah.
No, I'm not aware of any company.
Okay. All right. Your third point on your manifesto, designated sitting areas in councils such as HFC lawns and Sangam ground. So what is the Sangam ground side area? Can you explain? And what is the feasibility for this?
Yeah. Sangam ground side areas means like Sangam ground, and on the there is a track. So outside the track area, currently there are 3 sitting benches there. So increasing that and making more benches we can be putting at that side, so that students can go and sit there. So the plan is like that. And regarding the feasibility about this, I have talked to EU chairman again, Sunil Siraj sir, about this, and Ajay also I talked to, and Dean of Student I have conveyed this thing.
So HFC lawns, don't you think it's a bad idea to put seating there? Because it, there was an earlier board also saying don't even walk on the grass, and now you want to put seats there. Don't you think that will take away from the aesthetic appeal of the lawn?
launch means like that area, like sides of the launch that there we can put now.
Okay. All right. Coming to the next point, installing streetlights in poorly lit areas. Do you have any supporting data about the feedback that you have taken from students and which areas this would probably be starting in?
Yeah, so the feedback is not only I have talked to the general students. So 2 of the places I found out. Other than that, a proper survey will be done by the CFMC team regarding this, and after that the work will be started in this direction. Although I have 2 places which I have found out after talking to many of the people. So the 2 places which I found out was one, the road which is between that Mahanadi to Mandakini, that connecting road, and the other one is that road joining the Tapti to Kaveri.
Okay. And the budget for this would be coming from where?
EU.
Right. You mentioned EU budget for a lot of things. Are you sure they'll be able to take up all of these projects?
Yeah,
Because
like
other things.
I have conveyed, not like I have talked to that EU chairman, and also like from my side I have done the feasibility checks regarding that, and they also said like it will be done. So
let's just assume EU tells you that okay, Aniket, we have budget for like just 2 of your proposals out of the 5 or 6 that you mentioned. So which 2 would you be prioritizing?
which 2 I will be prioritizing?
Yeah.
Firstly, we'll be installing a flight poles, obviously.
Okay. Second.
Second, just a minute, I need to think. Dedicated sitting places.
Dedicated sitting places. Don't you think stationery shop would be of more usage rather than sitting areas? Because anyways, people are still sitting now, and I have not heard of any problems per se.
No, like yeah, but saying like that, the stationery shop also, like it's important. Like things are important, but if I will be prioritizing, then I will be giving more priority to sitting spaces in these areas.
Right, but why do you think
sitting
sitting space is more required as compared to even a night canteen? Because actually research scholars have complained about this, saying there are very few opportunities to eat, and their work actually goes on late into the night. So why would you prioritize sitting areas as compared to that? I want
night canteen will not be requiring that much funds. Not that much funds.
Okay. And what is your plan of action for this? Why are you saying it won't require as much funds?
Like see, one of the shops, like what we say that Campus Cafe, one of the shops in that first floor is already vacant, so we can use that shop. So that will be there.
But it's not run at night, right? We have other caterers also in Campus Cafe, but right, they don't operate at night. There is a reason for that. So obviously there are costs added to this, and there is a reason why it is not being done already. So how can you say that it won't use a lot of funds to keep something running all night?
Right. It will take funds.
So coming back to the question, do you have a reason about why you're going to prioritize sitting areas?
No, I don't have a reason.
Okay. Your first point in inclusiveness and well-being, you've talked about a GN course. Is this a new course that you're introducing?
No, in GN basic course only it will be included.
Which course is that?
GN 1101 life skills.
Okay. You have spoken to who all regarding this?
Shiva Kumar sir and Dean Academy.
Okay. Will this be increasing the number of sessions that the students have?
That Shiva Kumar sir will be deciding, and like he told, like we will be making it mandatory in the current curriculum only. It will be there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fine. Coming to the launching TEDx IITM talks, can you give me a plan of action on how you're going to do this? Step by step, like what is your first step? How are you going to build the community, and what are the required things you need for setting this whole thing up?
Yeah. So requiring this, firstly, like I have prepared a proper PPT for this. So firstly is the proposal, like motivation is clear.
If you have a PPT ready, can you just share it? Can you just show it for a while?
Sure. Just a minute. I need to.
SEC, I hope that's okay.
Oh, yeah, that works. No issues to it.
Just a minute. It will take a time. Is my screen visible?
Yeah, I can see this.
Yeah. So this is the proper proposal which I have prepared.
Okay.
Yeah. So basically, this is the motivation. Organizing a TEDx event is an exciting opportunity. Then spread ideas. Then build a community. Develop leadership skills. Create positive change. Personal growth. These are the motivation. Then how is it done? Like TEDx events are like independently organized local events.
This is the standard manual that TEDx gives to anyone who wants to set it up. So what are you going to do in Insti for this? How are you going to, let's say, start with the first setting up the community? How are you going to go about that? Who are you going to involve? Is admin going to be involved? Are students going to be allowed to give content, or how is it going to happen? I want to know.
Yeah, students will be allowed to provide their contents.
So you're saying any student can speak at one of these events?
Any student can?
Any student can speak at one of these events?
No, not any students. Like it will be taken like a team will be there which will be working for this.
Is this going to be a new team?
Yeah, it will be a new team.
Okay, so you're forming a new team under the SGS specifically for TEDx.
Yeah, no, or it will be a vertical under EML. Any of this can be done.
Okay. And how much time do you think this is going to take? When can we see the first lecture or the first session?
About 5 to 6 months.
5 to 6 months.
Yeah, because taking license and all for TEDx takes time, and then setting up also takes 3 months for licensing and 3 months for setting up, and also it will take around 6 months.
Okay. Right. Let's move on to the next point. Creating a buy and sell page in the institute's online community. So, what exactly? What is this going to be like? Buy and sell page.
Buy and sell means like if any students of IIT Madras want to sell any of his things, like then he can upload in that page, and any student who is willing to buy that thing can take that thing from that page, particular page, or contact the person who has put that thing for sale.
Are you going to be adding payment options on the page?
No, payment will be like meeting in person and then paying.
Okay, all right.
After seeing the product.
Right. And the next 2 points you have said, one is about a light fest during Diwali, and the other one is organizing cultural competitions. Can't the light fest fall under cultural competitions? Why are they 2 separate points?
Cultural competition is an ethnic day which is organized in the month of Feb or March, basically March, and Diwali is in November or October.
Yeah, but so you have it as a bigger ethnic fest, right?
No, ethnic fest is different, and then light fest is different, right?
No, how exactly? Why are you like differentiating between the two? I feel it's not
light fest will be hostel wise.
Okay.
And cultural fest is like Samiti wise.
It's Samiti wise.
Yeah.
Have you taken feasibility from the different sabhas and samitis? How many sabhas and samitis are there on campus?
Total 14.
Okay. Have you taken feasibility from all of them?
No, feasibility is not taken, but like every year we celebrate cultural festival, like ethnic fest, and this time also we were planning to do that. Like in this month only we were planning, but due to this elections we delayed it to in next month.
Okay. And what about the budget?
What is the?
What about the budget for this?
Budget, like what we decided this time, like not decided, like what was the plan? Like every Samiti we will be providing some funds, some constant fund which they will be using for the event. for that particular, like for the stress.
Okay. And just my last question is about the last point in your health and academic section, improved maintenance of dustbins and placement of new dustbins. Do you have any data to show that the current placement is not enough or there is wastage happening? And so do you have any reason why you want to place additional dustbins, and what are the strategic locations you're talking about?
Strategic locations currently I'm not having much, but like some days that we conduct like campus cleaning events through DMC. So there we had a group. So there in the previous times we got some complaints. So through that I came to know that the dustbins which are currently there are not maintained that properly, and also like there is need of some more dustbins in some of the locations.
There is what in some of the locations?
Need for dustbins in some of the locations.
Yeah. Like which locations would these be?
That is that I'm not aware of exactly.
Not aware. Okay.
So why do you think there is a need then if you're not aware?
The thing is like we got complaints from some of the areas, like there is like a lot of like there is no proper waste disposal. So through that I came to know that dustbins are required.
But which area there is no dustbins available? Like if students have mentioned something, no, okay, this area something was there, but there is no dustbin, or like where do you want to put it? In like it's not like there is nothing. So there is nothing. Something is there. We have seen some dustbins are there in the road, but where is not there? You have to tell, no.
Firstly, one location which we found out was NAC, near NAC.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like some days back only we got a complaint on February 18th.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we got a complaint from that area. So that was the one area which we identified.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is not something you have to put in manifest. No, it's a part of your job. You can do. DMC team is there. They can do by themselves.
This time we will be doing it properly and making ensure that the current dustbins which are there that are also not properly maintained. So maintaining that current dustbins also, and installation of some more dustbins if they are required. So properly this time we will be doing that.
How many complaints have you received about NAC?
This time we received one complaint, and one more complaint we received in the past, but I'm not getting the exact dates when we received that. And on February 12th also we received one complaint where, that about the dustbin which was behind Pampa.
Right. So will you be going around just catering to these one or two complaints, or will there be any structured way in which you are going to look whether there is actually a need? Because there might be random complaints here and there.
Right. So there will be structured way this time, like within the DMC team we will be making sure like there are some persons who will, not some persons, like they will have the responsibility of regularly checking that the dustbins are well maintained, or like there are some concerns or something like that, then they need to report to that it's not well maintained or something like that. So they will be properly taking care of these things.
Okay. You are the core of the Insti WebOps team from when to when?
Insti WebOps team core.
Yeah, when were you?
August, July. From the month of July 2022 to till now.
Okay, and so just tell me, what are the current issues being faced by any Insti-wide mobile application that's going on, or web application? Let's just say pages for any of the student-run things on campus.
What are the
issues faced?
Issues faced.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the issues faced by whom? Students, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, the issues which are faced are, firstly, the websites are not that updated. Firstly, this is the issue which are faced, and also like students are not much aware of the websites.
Okay, but if the websites are up and active and updated only then students will be using them, right?
Right. Yeah, that's correct.
So as in your tenure as the core of the Insti WebOps team, what have you done to improve that?
Yeah, like we were working on the redevelopment of the students' website, and almost it's ready. This like within 1 or 2 weeks we will be launching that website. So this was this was done by us. Then also we were helping Dean of Students for the development of his new website,
Which
which is also almost ready, and like he is talking to his team, which was there, and they are planning to launch that also very soon.
which website is this?
Dean of the Students website, new website they have prepared.
Okay, but as far as I know, the Dost website will be done by an external vendor, right? So what is your
So there, Dean of the Student called us, and we had a separate meeting with his team who was doing that some 5 months back, and from that time we are in coordination with them. From time to time, we are seeing their websites, suggesting them this can be done, that can be done, this designs, that designs, and then we also provided them a new server as per the specifications which they requested to us. So that these were the things we did with them.
Just in continuation to Rudra's question, I think so SCCC reached out to you throughout the year to update our website, to just update the commissioners list, I guess. And you couldn't do in the span of 1 year. We wrote you mails. I wrote you.
Actually, it was done. I'm not sure exactly. But he told
the reason why you couldn't update in the span of 1 year, just updating 2 names or let's say 2 images, not even structuring the whole website, but just adding 2 or 3 things.
As far as I know, like Akshit updated that thing.
Okay. If people can check the SEC website on the internet, it's still not showing our names or anything, which is a clear thing that they have not updated so far. Because if you would have updated, you would have asked me for my photograph, credentials, SML, everything, which you didn't do, or any commissioner. So just wanted to point out that we reached out to you, but we didn't get any affirmative response as a core that yes, I wish to change, or I wish to take the required information from you so that I can put it on the website. Yeah.
You were also the core of the disaster management committee, yes?
Right. Yeah.
So there are some sessions which are conducted for all students every year. Can you name them?
What were some of the events?
Yeah, some of the mandatory events which are conducted by the DMC for all students every year. Can you just name them?
Yeah, that marathon, firstly, that is conducted. Then collection drive. Then mandatory safety and security workshop for freshers. Then fire drill.
Okay.
And self-defense sessions.
When were all of these conducted in your tenure?
Except that marathon, all the events were conducted. Like I have a proper list of what all events we conducted.
Okay, and any reason as to why the marathon was not conducted?
Yeah. So the reason is like this time we conducted in collaboration with Alertathon NGO. This time we were not in that much, like there was a 2 years gap. So that time the previous course were not in that much lead with Alertathon NGO. So this time we tried to reach out to them, but there was not a satisfactory response from that side. So we were not able to connect that. But other than that, also we were having so much events to organize. Like currently also we are working on one of the events, which is Jaldan campaign in collaboration with that registrar sir. So like we were having so much events, like so this was one of the reasons. Another reason was Alert NGO, we didn't got any response from their side. So these were the 2 reasons due to which we didn't got the time to conduct the Alertathon, like that marathon.
Right. So, but not having time because of other events is not really an excuse, is it? Because now your work is only going to increase. You're going to have something coming up every day. So I don't think that's a very valid excuse for not conducting events that are supposed to happen every year.
And one more thing was there, like already a marathon was conducted by Shastra.
Okay.
And other marathons were also conducted from time to time. So that was one of the reasons, like we approached the insurance, but he told like it's already conducted. So you can't, like you can see into this. So these were the reasons. This was also one of the reasons.
All right. I'll just ask you a situational question now. Let's assume there is a protest regarding some issue from the student side. What are your steps in dealing with it? Let's say there is a group of students who are protesting against some hypothetical issue. What steps will you take as the student general secretary to deal with this issue?
Okay, sure. So firstly, I will be firstly talking to, first of all, Dean of Students. If there is some protest, obviously Dean of Students will be there. So I will be talking firstly seeing what is the matter, firstly consulting to all my students like what the matter is, and then I will be telling them, yeah, I will be taking your point to the dean of students. So like this, I will be working upon.
Right, but that is like your job, right? If suppose things are getting out of hand, what is your plan of action to pacify students or help the protest go along smoothly?
Have the protest go.
Yeah, if things are getting out of hand, what do you do? Because the dean of students has all been there, like you mentioned.
Yeah, dean of students will be there, CSO will be there, CSO
Yeah.
along with his team will be there. So protest is going out of hand, then the protest will be having some demands. Yeah, so like we will be seeing what are the demands. Then dean of students will also be there. Like if the demands will be feasible, then it will be done. It will be like that. Like during this protest, the demand was to call director. So that was feasible. So that was done. So it's like that. Like depending on the demands of the protest.
Okay, let's assume in one situation the dean of students and the CSO are not available. Then what is your next step?
Dean of students and CSO are not available.
Yeah.
But there will be some authority who will be taking care of the people who are doing protest.
Which
like
authority
CCW chairman, CCW vice chairman. Other than that, some authorities will be there.
You will reach out to CCW.
I will be like cooling down the students, knowing what are their concerns, why are they doing protest, and then like trying to cool them down. Along then taking their feedbacks, what is their concern, why are they protesting, all this, and like as a general secretary, I will be trying to raise their voice to the other side who has come for defending them against the protest.
Okay. Yeah, if anyone else has any questions, she just joined.
Yeah, so my question is regarding the buy and sell page on Viman or InstaSpace, which you have mentioned. So firstly, are you clear with whether you want to do it on both Viman and InstaSpace or one of them? And also any one of them. I think you need to have clarity on where you want to do it, right? Because accordingly, you need to have feasibility.
Right.
And if you want to do it on InstaSpace, then have you taken feasibility from this with the team that is actually handling InstaSpace?
No, sorry for that. I didn't take feasibility from InstaSpace, but about this, I talked to Viman team like Vedant, Viman head.
Okay. So don't you think if you want to do it on InstaSpace, you should have taken feasibility from either me or the C5 head or C5 WebOps team?
Right. Sorry for that. Like I didn't take that thing.
Right.
Do you have any knowledge about how active the Viman page is right now?
Yeah, like about this, I talked to Vedanta. So he was saying like the things are already like the things is almost done, and now he will be starting with some team selection for the maintenance and all. So till that point, it has reached.
Okay. But this was set up with an aim to sort of spread information about Insta, right? So do you think a buy and sell page on Viman will be effective? Like, do you think that is the purpose of the page?
No, that is not exactly the purpose of the page, right? You are correct. But the thing is, like, if we bring in that, then also it will be nice. Or like, if that is not the motive of that, then we can use the InstaSpace.
Right. So like right now you don't have feasibility for InstaSpace.
Right. Yeah, I don't have feasibility for InstaSpace. That's why I want to do it in Viman.
Okay.
Also, regarding the TEDx ITM talks, how is it different from EML lectures that are happening right now?
So yeah, basically EML lecture doesn't what we say, EML lecture are totally different from TEDx, like not totally. So TEDx talks basically aims at some points. Like EML talks are like done by some of the speakers which come from which are there. but TEDx is basically like calling the people for the personal development. So academic and personal development, that is there. And like in EML, we talk people who are like at high positions in their specific domains. So it's like that.
Mhm. So do you have any example speakers in mind who might come for these talks?
Example speakers in mind. TEDx.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I don't have.
Okay. Don't you think you should have something in mind if you've written that point?
Yeah, like speakers' names I don't have in mind, but like yeah, I was going through that, like how can we bring them, what is the licensing thing and all. So I was working in that part. Speakers
No,
and all,
I
like
mean, if you want to achieve something with those talks, then you need to have some kind of imagination as to what kind of speakers are going to come and what impact are they going to create and who is the audience that is going to attend, and how you make it different from what all lectures are already there in the institute, because there's EML, there's Shasta Spotlight, there's Sarang Spotlight, there's other talks happening from different departments. So how will this not clash with all of those and be unique in its own regard?
yeah. So for basically this that about the speakers, what I thought is in this we will be basically taking feedback from the student side, like what they from which domain they want the speakers to be, something like that, and then we will be bringing the speakers in that direction.
Okay. So students might express some demands as to they want this kind of
Two,
speaker,
three
that kind
domains.
of speaker, but sorry?
Domains. I'm talking about
Yeah,
domains,
yeah.
not
Domains. So they might say domains. So now say a student is not aware of what certain team does and they say they want something related to entrepreneurship, which
okay.
ESL is already doing. Then will TEDx again bring entrepreneurs to talk?
No, the thing is, if it is clashing with any of the teams, then this team will be either going to that team's heads, talking to them, they want to do in collaboration, or if that is happening, like our team will be trying, and like I will be talking to the secretary of that respective team, so that like
Okay.
we can do it in a collaboration basis.
Okay. So right now it sounds to me like almost all the speakers that you'll try to contact will be in some or the other domain of some secretary. Because if there was a sphere that was not being touched right now, there would have been a secretary for that already. So everything is being done by some or the other team right now. And half of it is your own EML team actually. So it looks to me like everything will end up becoming a collab, or at least requiring a collab, because it will be in some or the other domain.
No, the like if someone I want to bring regarding the wellness domain, then
Wellness domain is fine, but that's
yeah,
just one, right? Whatever is within your sphere is limited to wellness, and again, EML also has required collabs, I've seen.
yeah, right. Then that is the thing. Collaboration is required.
Yeah. So, I mean, try to get some clarity on what you want to do. I think you still don't have idea of which kind of speakers also you want to bring. So,
Motivational speakers, basically.
motivational speakers. Okay. Okay.
Okay. Aniket, can you tell me, the
Yeah.
process of DWC, like, something happens, how the student will receive complaint, who will send them complaint about DWC? Do you know about what is the meaning of this DWC? Just tell me first.
Yeah, DWC is Disciplinary and Welfare Committee.
Okay. So, like, how student get to know he has caught for DWC, and actually, what are the topics covered under DWC?
So DWC is like basically, I will be explaining first, like uh, all things related to academics and departments things. So these things comes under DWC. Also, one more thing, things which are outside industry, that also comes under this. This is also one of the most important things.
No.
So this is about all disciplinary matters related to a student.
No, there are various types of disciplinary committees. I'm asking about DWC only. And this outside outside institute matter doesn't come under DWC.
Okay. So
So that's what I'm
basically,
asking. What matters comes under DWC? You are part of it.
all things related to academic and departments.
Okay, so like how like I'm getting DWC, how will I get informed? Who will inform me? Who will complain about me? And like what will the process followed?
Okay, so if a matter is academic, then you will be getting a mail from your respective faculty. Faculty means the faculty which has taken you to, or that this committee head will be mailing you like you are caught in this, and you have to be coming here. So this is that. And then
So-
regarding to that,
Okay, so who will send mail? I'm asking. Like who? Let's say I'm getting mail that you are caught for,
here, but
let's say for a question. Who will send mail?
DWC chairman, DWC
Who?
committee, DWC chairman.
No. Every committee's chairman doesn't always send mails, especially in case of DWC. There is a every committee has a member secretary. So do you know who is the member secretary for DWC?
Maybe SGS.
No. I am not member secretary. Member secretary is someone from administration.
Oh, okay.
Administration is takes care of all the committees which are formed for the students, or from administration side as well. Like there is a member secretary for every such committee. Students are part of it, like SGS or CAS or RS or has related to their matters. I'm asking who is the member secretary. He has to form the meeting and he has to inform all the students he are invited. Like who is the guy?
No, I'm not aware of that exactly.
Then like why don't you like, so that like did you talk to someone ki like how DWC work, or did you inquire about it ki someone who got DWC from where he did got mail and what the process they followed on him?
Regarding mail, students generally told like they have got in that direction. No, exactly. I only talk to the students, but not I talk like from where did they got mail.
Then how will you resolve the complaints when some students having problem? Let's say ki false DWC has been taken on some students. Then how will you resolve the complaint? Where will you go and talk about those students?
To the faculty, and in the committee, like
No, faculty is not someone who calls committee meeting. Faculty is just takes it to the higher authorities who's a part of the committee, someone like chairman, but someone has to follow with everything. Okay, there are some set of students, there is a faculty, there is a member of the committee, there is a person who holds the committee meetings. So you have to there is some false in academic, I'm saying. So false complaint has been registered on student. Now student is coming to you. You are a member of the committee. Then how will you take it up?
Yeah, so basically I will be looking what the student is telling, and then if it is a false allegation, then I will be talking to Dean Academics like this is there, and then through that I will be going to this.
Dean AC is not part of the DWC. Dean AC is not part of the DWC.
Then DWC is chairperson?
That's what I'm asking. Do you know who's the chairperson, current DWC chairperson? Okay, tell me.
That I don't know, but
then
it is nominated by CNET, that I know.
But you must be knowing the current one. No, it will be there till Senate rethinks, okay, we have to reform the committee again. So till that time, there will be same committee, the same committee will exist. So like, did you inquire? Because it's a very important committee for every such student. And if student goes there, his almost life of IITM for that particular student is screwed. He can't do anything because DISCO is something very big. So like, did you inquire what will you be there doing there? You are part of the committee.
Yeah. So being a part of a committee and students representative, so my basic responsibility here will be to help a student to get as less what we say that punishment as he can get. Like basically my agenda will be saving the student from getting the as harsh punishment as possible. It's like saving him from getting harsh punishment. That will be my aim in this committee.
So there is no harsh or relaxed punishment. There are some norms. If someone has caught something for some particular item, there is some specific punishment. They can't change it. That's it. That's clear. Okay. And some end semester examination for some course, there is a specific punishment. They can't change. They can't do low or high or anything. They will go stick with the Senate norms as I'm asking you. did you talk to students, or like, do you know the process where, how will you go? I'm asking false allegation, not ki some allegation is actually clear and you have to go there and ask to reduce punishment for a student. I'm asking false allegations are there. Like, how will you go and reach out to committee members, and like who will tell you ki these are the committee members where you can reach out?
Committee members, Dean Academic.
That's what I'm saying. No, Dean Academic is not part of the committee.
But he can.
He can do, but he's not. He is not even part of the committee.
Only information regarding who are the part of the committee, and then I will approach them respectively.
Okay. So you should actually clear your all doubt, because this is very important, and you should actually, there is a lot every day we are seeing, every committee meetings, we are seeing a lot of people coming there. So, this is seriously, should be work out, because recently in my tenure only, I remember like 300 students got DWC, and that is too much, so it's okay, fine. And there is one more, hostel
Sorry to
disciplinary.
interrupt. We
Okay.
have time constraints, so we'll have
Okay.
to wind it up in another 5 minutes. So please ask your questions accordingly.
Okay. There is a hostel disciplinary committee as well. So do you know how it forms and who forms it, and like what matters you deal in the hostel disciplinary committee?
So hostel disciplinary committee basically handles the matters, disciplinary matter regarding to the hostel.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, so who will call the hostel disciplinary committee meeting, and why?
So hostel the SDC chairman will be calling the meeting, and why do we calling? If any student is caught violating the hostel norms,
Mhm.
then the meeting will be called.
Okay,
Or
who's the chairman?
statement Huh?
Who's the chairman for it?
Who's the chairman for it?
Mhm.
CCW chairman.
No, he is a CCW chairman, not DWC
So you
chairman.
are asking about DWC chairman.
I'm saying DW, not HDC chairman. Sorry, HDC chairman. Who's the
HDC
chairman?
chairman, right? Okay. Hostel disciplinary. No, I'm not aware exactly of that. Who is the HDC chairman? Might be dean of students.
Not might be. You should know. This not might be. You knowing that you are part of this committee. You have been general secretary of the hostel. Then you don't know that how the HDC works.
Yeah. Like, sorry for that.
Okay, let's say something happened in your hostel. You are the general secretary of your own hostel, no? Then who will call the meeting? Something happens.
I will be reporting all this to the warden. And then warden will be taking it up to the higher authorities.
So you didn't read the hostel manuals, I'm assuming, because in hostel manual it's clearly written that for a particular hostel, let's say something happened in some hostel, no, only one hostel is involved, then by default, the chairman of the hostel warden is the chairman of that particular meeting, because it's within the hostel. If it's an intra-hostel movement where 2 hostel, 3 hostel are involved, then there is a SDC formed by the dean of students, and there is a professor who's supposed to be hostel warden. One of the hostel warden will be invited as the chairman of the SDC. Okay, so you please go through all the manuals which are there. I don't think you have gone through the manuals. Fine. Okay, other members can have some question. I think CCs will wind up.
Okay, I think we have exhausted the time for Executive Council. Now, if there are any questions from the other stakeholders like course or heads or from the GSB, please feel free to ask. You can raise your hand and then ask. Okay, I think we don't have any more questions. Can I ask you a question, Aniket? I have a question.
Yeah, sure.
Can you tell me what is a quorum required for passing the budget of an executive council member in SLC?
quorum should be 10%?
SLC, Student Legislative Council, not in hostel council.
2/3.
2/3. Okay. SGS is also another question. SGS is also a member of the CCASH meetings, right?
Right.
Which is extremely sensitive matter. I would like to know what is the role of an SGS and what difference will it make through your presence in the CCASH hearings?
Can you please repeat that? I didn't got that.
SGS is also a member of the CCASH meetings, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So I would like to know what will be the role of an SGS in a CCASH meeting. Okay. What difference will you make if you attend the CCASH hearings?
Okay. So basically, looking into the matter and making sure that there are no wrong allegations against some student.
How will you ensure that there are no allegations, wrong allegations?
By meeting both the students.
By?
Meeting both the students, the person who has put the complaint and the person who against whom the complaint is done.
That usually happens, right? In any meetings, we call parties from both the ends and do a hearing, right?
Yeah,
so
right.
what else will you ensure?
I will be meeting them personally and knowing what was the exact matter, and through that I will be trying to sort like who is wrong here, like not wrong. What are the wrong allegations or something like that?
Okay. Don't you think is it is it that easy to identify what is true and what is wrong, particularly in sexual harassment cases where it is difficult to get technical evidences, scientific evidences, because it is not often happening in daylight or with you have proof. So in that case, it's very difficult to prove, right? So
Right.
what will be your stand? What will you ensure?
What will I ensure? So, like only what I will ensure like is the person the person who is not false doesn't get the punishment. This thing I will be ensuring from my side.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm
Trying my
okay.
best
Another,
to
yeah.
find out what was right and what was wrong.
Okay. Another question is a very hypothetical question. Imagine that we're introducing a new policy. Okay.
Okay. Right.
Policy is that depending on the population of the campus, okay, depending on the proportion, say there are around in 3 out of 10 people in campus belong to the minority. That is the girls, physically challenged students. Okay.
Okay.
So we are bringing a policy such
Hmm.
that 3 posts in executive council is reserved for the students from these category. Girls, also the PWD students.
Hmm.
Okay. So
Okay.
every year we will roll this. We will change. Imagine if this year we are reserving maybe sports, culture arts, and maybe culture literary. Imagine, okay. Next year it will be 3 another post from executive council. The idea behind this policy is to ensure that we have more representation of this minority community in the student governance.
Okay.
This is just a policy. This has not been ideated anywhere. Okay, just
Hmm.
something that I'm asking now. I would like to know your take on this policy.
So my take will be exactly. I don't have anything to say. Well, like what I can do here, the best thing will be like talking to dean of students and other students who will be benefiting, not benefiting, like whole student community, what they want. And after taking their feedbacks and suggestions, I will be working in that direction.
So you will go with what majority of the GSB wants?
Majority of the GSB and also the people who will be benefiting from this, also to them also I will be taking a separate feedback, what they want exactly.
Okay. So what if this was
And also
implemented from
important is
this?
talking to
Yeah.
dean of students, like his feasibility is most important. If he says, then
Yeah.
only it's feasible. And then if it's not feasible, then it can't be done.
Okay. Okay. So what if this was implemented from this year and the first post that was reserved for SGS itself?
What?
No, no, no. I'm just asking. What
Hmm.
if if it was implemented from this year, and the
Uh,
post it was reserved for the post of SGS, so that means it is not. It restricts the opportunities for many other students who wanted to apply, right?
right.
Yeah. So there is a question of is it a good policy or is it a not policy for everyone? So I would like to know your take on it, but that is fine. You have already
Yeah, like there
answered
are
it.
two sides. There are two sides.
Yes.
In total entire student community, it's not good for all. But for
Okay.
the stakeholders who are benefiting from it, it's good for them.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Okay, I think I'm done with my part now. Thank you so much everyone for attending the session. We'll begin the Soapbox for the Institute Sports Secretary by 7:30. Thank you all. Abhishek? Hello, are you there? Am I audible? Abhishek, can we start?
Hello.
Hi.
Yeah. So I was not able to unmute myself. Yeah.
Sorry?
I was not able to unmute myself.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Can you share the PPT or slide with SEC?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Hello.
Hello.
Can you see my slides?
I can see your slide. Can you share it to our SEC ID,
Okay,
mail
yeah,
ID?
sure.
Yeah, then we'll
Just
begin.
yeah, shared just now. Can you check once?
Oh, yes, we have received. Okay, we'll start then.
Yeah.
Good evening, everyone. Here we are for the Soapbox for the post of Institute Sports Secretary. Welcome, Executive Council. Welcome, students. I request the candidate Abhishek Khatri to present your slides. You will have maximum 8 minutes to give your presentation. Over to you.
Hello. Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Yeah. Yeah. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining my soapbox. Here I am Abhishek Katre, third year undergraduate from the Department of Metallurgical and Material Engineering. I'm contesting for the post of Institute Sports Secretary. We'll go with my manifesto PPT. So yeah, my vision is in threefold: begin, believe, and become. To honor the past, optimizing the present, and shaping our future collectively. So I believe the general student body they don't have enough accessibility for the sports. So in my tenure, I'll try to do that. I believe the contingent probable staffing that should have that we should do from the GSB more, and I will aim to supply more supplements and resources for the better performance. Become. I will focus on a long-term sustainability initiatives that will emphasize on the legacy that IITM attempts to build in sports sphere, such as flagship event like Agrata. So these are my major bucket of my manifesto: igniting the spirit of the sports stronger than ever, new initiative to the basket, and reviving the lost glory. Igniting the spirits of sports sphere. I would like to encourage participation from this GSB, because I feel the sports is something that everyone should get opportunity to play. I will try to introduce new resources for them so that they can have a fun time with their friends. Stronger than ever. This point catering to the contingent that to foster the teamwork and more more bonding within the team, and celebrating the diversity among the sports that we have for the entirety. New initiative to the basket. I have a couple of initiative that caters to GSB to promote healthier competition within them and use sports as a tool for personal growth and creating a positive impact through the sports. Reviving the lost glory. To raise the awareness among the GSB, because I feel there is a necessity and they don't have enough courage or enough information about the sports what we have in institute, and I think institute has a lot more to provide as a part of the sports. So and monitoring their performance and within the events and all, and appreciating them in the end. So here's my first bucket: igniting the spirit of sports. So Illuminate is basically the talks I will conduct with the help of the associate team. We'll be having the sports personality, and those who are into sports. Not we won't be sticking to the sports personality specifically. We'll have lineup events with the sportsmen, with the coaches, with the entrepreneurs, those who are into sports, maybe physiotherapists, maybe coaches, and maybe team managers, so that we have an overall development with the help of this uh, lecture series. Next one is passing the baton. So I feel in the hostel facility, we don't have enough number of facility that every student should have. So, and I feel hostel budget is also not enough to cater all the 400 people, those who stayed in hostel, in a Cordy hostel. So my plan is to divert the institute sports facilities that are not used by the institute people, with the help of the gymkhana, with the help of other inventories in the institute, so that we'll be diverting the unused or like not used equipments with the institute team to the hostel secretaries, so that will help to engage more fun activities within the hostels. Infrastructure development. Sports need a lot of space, but still we have a limited space. So I will try to develop the facility what we are having already, and try to improve the facility within the institute. So one is floodlight that I wanted to establish with in between the hockey ground and football ground. That ground was used for kho before, but we will be planning to have for the girls football team. So that will be held during the winter season, and also if they wanted to come for the early morning practice. And the 100-meter sand track in Vatsa, that will help specifically to the institute contingent because I have seen athletics team contingent goes for the beach training and all, and that takes too much time and too much logistic and too much permissions from the institute. So this will reduce the pain from the student side, and not only as athletics people, other contingent members also can utilize this facility to develop their performance. Hostel cluster. So hostel cluster is a point to develop the facility within the hostel. As I said, we have a limited infrastructure inside the hostel. So I feel every hostel is lagging behind with the budget thing. So my plan is to allot some budget from the alumni and helping them to develop their own infrastructure within the hostel and if possible outside the hostel also. So we'll be having the cluster of the 4 hostel, let's say. So we'll be developing each one facility within one cluster so that the group of the hostel in one cluster can utilize the same facilities. This is the next bucket, stronger than ever. Supplement for success. I feel the general awareness, this is the general initiative to educate the contingent and providing the knowledge to improve the knowledge gap with the respect to the supplements or in general information about the sports with the help of the senior people in the contingent. This will improve the sport performance of themselves. And as a contingent, as a part of the contingent, I feel for the nutrition part, we don't have the enough facility of the food. So I'm planning to provide eggs, sprouts, and banana continuously from the mini camp to main camp. Ask or alums. The second point. Initiative that is taken by the experienced alumni before the inter-IIT. So we usually have the tracksuit distribution ceremony. And this year also we had tax distribution ceremony, but it was very low. I feel low key kind of. So I feel if someone from the previous alum, maybe some senior person will come from outside the institute, that will boost the morale of our contingent. So my plan is to call senior people, those who graduated already, alums, and have a brief talk from them.
Sorry,
so that
you will have only 1 more minute.
Okay. So yeah, this is the ask or alum point. Contingent connect help during the inter-IIT main camp so that everyone has the bonding. So we'll be having few initiative and innovative game so that that will help to promote the inter-contingent bonding. Facilitating the forerunner. After we come from the inter-IIT, we don't have the facilitation part. So my part is to have a contingent dinner after the inter-IIT. New initiative to the basket. Spotify. This is related to this 3 events related to the GSB. Spotify, Pitch to Play, and Sangam at Sangam. Spotify is something is for the beginner people. They're gonna do it when the freshie come usually. This event will include all the sporting facility within the institute. Pitch to Play. Pitch to Play is something from the GSB for the GSB and organized by the GSB. So someone has to pitch the idea. We'll take into consideration, and after finalizing the idea, that event will be played by the GSB. Sangam and Sangam. This is the initiative that will happen monthly to continuous engaging of the sports throughout the year. Initiative by the baskets of gymnasia, dive with ease, and stronger. Gymnasia is something I wanted to introduce as a new calisthenic club that because I already have a lot of participation for that club specifically. Dive with ease is month membership because we have only 3-month membership that is very limited. I feel we have 1 month membership so that we can gain more participation. Stronger is a initiative for the women, those who wanted to
Abhishek, exhausted the
Yeah.
time limit. We'll move on to the next session. I request the executive council member to ask questions now.
Yeah, hi Katre. Shall we start?
Yes, sure.
Okay. You go point by point. First point is you're conducting talks by esteemed sports personalities. Can you give some examples of any people you reached out to or any personalities who would be willing to come?
As of now, I didn't reach out to the personality, but I know connections through them. I can reach out to the personalities. So
Can
my
you
plan
confirm?
is, sure. So my plan is to talk with the established, talk to established lecture series people, those who are already exist in campus, like Shastra, ESL, they have Spotlight, Inspirit, respectively. So we'll talk to them to get the contacts and maybe connection through their sphere. And we have a EML lecture series. And I talked with the EML people. They are ready to, they are willing to support this initiative. They said we will try to do from their side. And we have SOC PR, response and PR team. So with the help of SOC also, we'll try to reach out to the people. And I feel in our institute we have good level of coaches, and they have good reach in their sports sphere also. So I have talked to athletics coach and some people, those who are from Nehru Stadium. They have a good relation with their let's say national player and like decent players. And I feel their personal connections are also good, so we can call through them their help also.
Okay, so you mentioned about other lecture series on campus. So will these all be in collaboration with them?
So basically, the specifically collaboration will be happening during the Agrata, because Agrata is something that is, I feel, it's a big event. So I feel like we are planning to do it in a series. So if a national player like some not a big personality is coming, SOC is good enough to handle the series. But specifically, we'll need help from the other teams if we are conducting the Agrata.
Have you taken feasibility from them?
Yeah, I have taken feasibility from the EML lecture series. They will be handling the logistic, and they agreed on this point. They will be helping during the.
So where will the budget be coming from?
Yeah, so we have a budget from the last year. This year also we had a budget from Agrata. It was like 10 lakh. Just a minute, I'll give the exact number. That was 10 lakh 65,400. Sorry, 10 lakh 14,469. That was planned for the Agrata. So I feel, and we will be having sponsor team also working for the budget and for the kind deals. So we'll be
will
getting
you be
help
paying these people to come and speak?
Mostly we'll try not to give the money because this will be through the EML lecture series, because EML people don't give this money to speakers. So we'll try to get a deal with the EML through the EML, and if there is a need to do it, we'll try to get them sponsors for that.
Okay. Apart from EML, you have taken feasibility from any other team?
I think like I mentioned that I will be collaborating as in part of the through the connections. I mean Spotlight and Inspirit. So for the I have
Did you
mentioned the
take
point.
feasibility from the Spotlight course or heads?
Yeah, I had talked with them. Yeah.
Okay, so are you sure there is no budget involved in this?
No, this is for the connection. They will be helping me to get the connections, and we'll be dealing with them further.
Right.
Like whole
Okay.
whole thing will be managed by the SOC. This team will be helping us out because this is something
I'm
happening
talking
for
about
like.
the budget. I'm talking about the budget. Do you think there is no budget involved in calling speakers?
Yeah, definitely there will be a budget because we have planned Agrata
Okay,
as such. Like,
what is that budget? What is it used for?
you mean like just for the lecture series?
Yeah. What is the budget used for?
I didn't got your point. Sorry.
You said there is a budget involved, right? So what will it be used for?
That will be involved for that budget is specifically for the Agrata what I told right now. So if we are planning to
Just speaking about the lectures, if there is a lecture happening, you have allotted a specific budget for it. What will that budget be used for with regards to that lecture?
No, this will be the voluntary limit. I said for the Agrata specifically, if there is a need of budget for the calling the personality of for the lecturate, we'll
Okay, so what is that need for budget? Do you know that? If you have taken feasibility from Spotlight team, you would know.
Like I said, for the Agrata specifically, we will be having the budget part. Rest all event, if you are planning to do in series, that will be voluntarily. We won't give any money to them.
Even for that, you need to sponsor their travel. So you will require budget for that. That is where the budget is going to be used.
Yeah, that is specifically to Agrata. But for the series of lecture, we'll be calling them as a voluntary purpose only.
Even then, if you want to get sports personalities who are at any decent level, you will have to sponsor their travel. That is usually the agreement.
Yeah, logistic will be taken care by the SOC. That is not an issue.
Okay. Anyways, moving on. Diverting the unused institute team equipment to hostel inventories. What equipment is this?
So I have taken feasibility from two sports officer, Javelson and Raju sir. So
Okay.
they and I have seen the football in the football field in the storeroom actually. So I have seen around 30 to 35 footballs are there that are punctured. So I take them to the I talked with the Jewel sir, and they said like this football won't be using for the institute team, because usually it takes unnecessary time for the institute people to get repair and everything to be done. So our plan is to divert that facilities to the sports hostel sports secretary, so that they can repair and utilize that facility.
Okay, any other equipment? Just footballs or anything else?
Yeah, so there are tennis balls also, and tennis balls, footballs, volleyball mostly. I have not talked to Javis sir, so I'm not sure about them. So I'll discuss about later. And from the Raju sir, I've talked to the for the badminton also. They use the shuttle racket, right? So if one shuttle or something is like a little bit tear is there, they won't be using it. So I feel like if people are playing just for the fun sake, they can use that facility.
You really think you want to give damaged and faulty equipment to hostels, especially where students are just picking up the sport and they don't really know anything? So you think you want
No,
to give
I feel,
damaged?
see, whatever can be repaired, that can be done by the hostel secretary. Obviously, damage facility won't be directly using by the hostel student. The hostel secretary, if he is agreeing on the point, like you have to take the facility, you will improve. And we are just donating the facilities. We are not going to improve and give it to you.
Okay, so you are saying they have to put in their own money to repair it. Why can't they just get new equipment instead? They can just get lesser pieces for new equipment. Have you considered that?
Yeah,
You're a hostel sports secretary yourself, right?
Yeah. As I'm a hostel sports secretary, I feel like let's talk about the decent football also. It costs around 1,300, and for the repair cost is around like 250 or 200. So I feel if I want to save the money and people just want to play for the fun sake, I don't mind investing 200 rupees in the repairing rather than paying 1,300 in the new football.
But will your hostel residents be satisfied if you keep getting them used footballs? Because there is an issue. If it's not a new football, it's going to be very different in the terms of usage, especially when it comes to badminton and tennis. If the balls are used, they're going to be very different from new equipment. So, do you think any hostel secretary will be willing to do this?
Yeah, so for the tennis ball, if you are taking the tennis ball, people won't be going and playing tennis directly. We use tennis ball for the cricket, usually in the inside the hostel or outside the hostel if the normal GSB are playing.
Okay, and
So
then what about badminton?
Yeah, badminton something like I have seen people those who are like play for the fun at night. So I have talked to I talked to the Tapti resident, and they are fine. Like if they just want to play, they don't mind playing with the shuttle rackets. That is like some slightly broken or some slight damage is there.
Have you spoken to any other hostel secretaries regarding this? Have they? How many of them have shown willingness to sort of?
I have talked to 5 to 6 secretaries as of now, and 2 3 secretaries from the girls hostel and 5 secretaries from the boys hostel.
Okay. Yeah. And they are willing to take this equipment.
Yeah, they are fine with taking it because I have explained briefly like what exactly the need is, and they also understood because they are also sports secretary. So, yeah.
Okay. Right. Let's move on to the next point: infrastructural developments, improving basic amenities at playfields. What are these?
Basic amenities and playfield. So I feel like one is the Vatsa stand time, another is a floodlight. Floodlight in between the hockey and football ground.
Okay.
So I personally went to the hockey in between the hockey football ground. So in that ground, in after 6 when the sun downs, so they don't have enough lightings there. So usually right now the girls started playing there. So they don't have enough light. So they asked to like if you can have the lights there, that will be good, and they can extend their practice till 8 p.m. or 8:30 p.m. So I feel there is a need for that. And another one is what's a stand track. So I have talked with the athletics coach, both the athletics coach and Raju sir. So they said actually this will be a good initiative, so that we can reduce we can save the time during the main camp or within the mini camp. That's a time span, and we'll be having practice inside the campus, and we'll be saving a lot of money with the logistics part and time also.
Right. Let's talk about floodlights first, and come to your second part of the point. How many floodlights are there at the hockey ground, and how many are there at the football ground?
Right now, eight in football ground,
Eight
and
in football ground.
Yeah, and 4 in hockey ground. Wait a minute, just let me cross.
I think you need to check your numbers, but so you want to, for the small ground in between, you want to install 2 additional floodlights.
Yeah, I have taken feasibility from the engineering unit. Actually, this number is still not decided. That number is decided by the engineering unit. I'm just proposing we need a two floodlight. This process is done by the electrical unit from the engineering that comes under the engineering unit.
Where is
So
the
they
budget
said
for a
they will,
floodlight coming from?
institute budget.
Are you sure? Who has committed the institute budget for this?
I had talked with the sport advisor. He approved this thing.
He approved that the institute budget would be used for this.
Yeah.
And did you speak to Dean Planning? Because engineering unit can still give permission, but if Dean Planning does not agree, you can't use this.
Yeah. So I went to Dean Planning office, but she was not available. She was out of country, so she just came recently. But I had taken feasibility from the engineering unit. And in future time, I will go and talk to them also.
Okay. And you mentioned time about 8:30 or something. All the other floodlights are also available till 8:30. Why are students not using those? And if I'm
So
not wrong, there is a small halogen lamp also for this small field that you're talking about, which can be switched on. So why do you need additional floodlights for the same?
I have talked with the ground staff there. So they told they have removed the one light you're talking about. He told they have removed that
Why was it
that
removed?
specific one loud because they wanted to shift in the cricket ground, something like that. He told. So after that removal, there is no proper lighting in that specific ground.
Don't you think putting that small light will be useful instead of installing two huge new floodlights, which is going to cause a lot of problems in terms of permissions and budget also? Don't you think it is more effective to have that small light instead?
Yeah, so I didn't mention specifically this. I'm just giving the proposal. Like we can have two floodlights if they're necessary. We can come to the point. We need a one floodlight, and we can go with that also. That's not an issue. The thing is, there was a requirement of the floodlight, so I proposed this initiative.
So, and why can't students use the other neighboring grounds which have floodlights and which are operational till 8:30?
Yeah, because there is a habitat issue with the within the campus. We can't use after certain time limit because
No, I'm saying
there
if
are
the
deers.
students really need to use it, the football ground and the hockey ground nearby also have floodlights and they are functional till late night. So why can't students play there instead? Why do you need this specific small ground?
Because in specifics, so the hockey ground and football ground specifically, their institute hockey team and football team plays there. And just now, football women started playing there. So this was a requirement from the women's side, from the women's women's football team and women's let's say a football team.
But this ground doesn't even have proper goalposts. They can rather use Sangam ground, which is available till up to 9:30 at night also.
No, but Sangam ground we can't directly just allot to this women's team because if we allot them, rest because there are like multiple kind of sports happen there, and like that is specifically under the hostel area also. So usually hostel people go there and play. So I feel that that will disturb the system. So I specifically feel that we have the football facility just near the football ground. So we have planned to shift the football posts that are inlined in the horizontal way. We'll try to put in parallel way. Already football posts are there. We just need to shift it in the lateral direction.
Have you spoken to football team regarding this? Because I don't think they use the full ground every day. They can allot a small space or include the girls team in their practice. So
yeah, so I have I talked with the whole team of the football girls team. So they say like they get the space in the football like main football ground, but they don't feel the enough space to like play the football as a proper football team. So they wanted to have a small ground, that is also fine, but they wanted to have two goalposts and proper game things. So I propose them like we have two options. One is like Sangam, but Sangam then we cancelled it out. Then we came to this in between the ground of the hockey and football ground, the small ground.
all right. Just please check on this budget because institute budget is a very vague term and you need very specific approvals for getting this.
Yeah, sure.
What is the second word of this point?
What's our strength, right?
Yeah. So what is the problem with that? Because that point was introduced back in 2019 and it's been already 3 years. A lot of people have worked on it, including me. So what exactly are the problems and why what has been the main hurdle to overcome right now?
So main hurdle was the sand actually. So last year also we tried to do that, but the sand was the issue. So sand is right now we can't directly purchase. It's kind of illegal. So my plan is to propose the construction sand there, and I feel that sand will be using on a Vatsa track. So that is legal for the construction purpose. So we'll be proposing the budget for that, and will be bringing that stand specifically in the Vatsa stand track. And another issue was the deer issue. But I have talked with the sports secretary, and I feel that issue was overpassed during the Srinath time, and after that, and this didn't implicated after due to the COVID thing, and this was the major two issue I know.
Okay, and you mentioned that athletics team practice is very difficult and approvals is difficult, which is why you want to do this. Is that really an excuse to stop any team from getting the best practice that they can because it's too difficult to get permission? Team has been going out, right? Many teams have been going out for practice sessions.
Right. But I feel like if some facility we can provide within the institute, this will cater not just specifically to athletics team, that will cater to other teams also. Let's say volleyball team also wanted to have a joint strengthening exercises. That they usually practice in their own ground. But I feel if you practice in sand track, you make your ankle strong and small joints within the toes that will get stronger. So I feel like this will cater to other teams also, not just specifically the athletics.
Okay.
Yeah.
And have you taken feasibility of this from any of the other team members, the other team captains?
Yeah, I have told this to volleyball captain, and I have talked with the other let's say football. I have told the football captain also. Yeah, it's two big team captain.
All right, let's move to the next point. Hostel clusters, clubbing hostels are proximity and constructing shared infrastructure. What infrastructure are you conducting, and plan of action? Where is the budget for this coming from?
Okay, so the infrastructure is mostly like first priority is to develop the facility within the hostel. Let's say every hostel because the current centralized facilities is not able to cater to all the GSB. That is very obvious thing. So my plan is to why not to focus on the ground level, that is hostel part. So we'll be try to developing each and hostel facility. Let's say we have volleyball ground almost in each hostel, like in Cordy hostel. So it'll be if the volleyball ground is not there and if repair is needed, so that takes a lot of budget. Let's say 35,000 or like 40,000 approximate for the proper netting and poles and for the sand that is used in the volleyball court. And for the some people have the outside basketball court. Some people have gym thing. So these are the major point: basketball court, volleyball court, and gym. And gym is something that is required for every hostel, I feel. So gym will be the priority, and volleyball court and basketball like depending upon the availability of the ground and
What is
availability of the
shared
facility.
infrastructure about this? What is shared? Because are you constructing
Yeah.
a gym outside or it's going to be within a hostel, right? So what is shared about it?
Yes, shared was introduced as as a tapti I have seen. We have a volleyball court, but that doesn't come under any hostel because I have taken feasibility for this thing from the
So where are you
CCW.
going to construct a gym? I understand about the volleyball court, but you mentioned a gym. So what is going to
No,
be
no.
the
So
shared?
gym. So yeah, that's what. So I told you the priority is like to develop the facility within the hostel. Cluster point is for the outside facility that we are trying to develop. So outside facility will be just like half basketball court or maybe volleyball court. These are the some two sphere I can see right now. So we'll
Is
be
the budget
having
for this coming from?
the budget will be given from the ACR office with the help of the alums. I have taken feasibility from the dean ACR and talked with the respective finance department of the ACR also.
Okay. And how much budget is going to take? Because when alumni are involved, there are multiple other processes also, and they might end up not approving this proposal. So what will you do in that case?
So first of all, I will be taking the proposal from each and every hostel. Once they given the proposal, I'll figure it out if there is actually need or not. If one hostel actually needs, let's say the facilities are actually very damaged and not a proper facility to play for everyone. So we'll be
That is
catering to
already
them.
going on, right? We already have alumni who are donating to specific hostels based on the proposal submitted
Yeah,
by the secretary.
yes. So the point, yeah. So I agree on this thing. Yeah, but this is happening. But I have talked to the ACR people. So they said this is something. It's very long process. So I'm trying to do it very short. So how I'm going to do it in a very short process. My plan is to directly transfer the amount whatever the alums are giving to the hostel office. So they can take money from the hostel office directly. Warden account directly, and from there they can develop the facility within the hostels. So my plan is to just short the process from the alums to ACR to the warden and from the hostel secretary. So I will be cutting out the process. So
okay,
this
let's
will
assume
be,
right now in this transfer flow that you mentioned, suppose the
yeah.
funds are transferred to the warden office and there is some emergency in the hostel and the funds are used for something else which is not related to sports. And the alum is now questioning why that was done without them knowing, and how could you do that? And they have asked you for an answer. So what do you do in this scenario?
So for this concern, so my plan is to have a proper MOU with the help from the warden. That this money will be going to utilize for the specific facility that the hostel secretary has been
We're
proposed.
going to do an MOU between the warden and
No,
alum.
and not exactly MOU, but it's a kind of a letter, you may say. So like that has been submitted to the ACR office. They will be having the proof of the letter.
Who has
This is the
taken
amount.
feasibility for this process, that you will get a letter and the
I have
wardens will
I
be
have talked
obligated?
I have talked to the manager there from the ACR office. His name is Karan.
Okay, have you spoken to Chairman Council of Wardens?
Yeah, I have talked to warden also. Right now it's happening for my hostels also and Sharavati hostel also.
Okay,
Yeah.
but this letter of intent that you are doing that.
No, letter of intent, and this money, the amount of money we are giving it, and the amount of money will be transferring only when you propose the whatever like estimate quotation. So only that money will be provided to the hostel warden. That will be provided within the hostel warden bank account, and after that, that money will be taken care by the hostel secretaries, hostel secretary, sports secretary.
Okay, but you understand like how much easier it is if the money is just used first from the warden account and then the alumni can just reimburse it when you provide the bills. So why do you need to go through this entire process, which I'm not sure is feasible at all, because CCW would not have given feasibility for any such agreements between alumni or any other office and the warden office. Once the funds are transferred, it's up to the warden office what to do. So don't you think it is a much better option and much easier for everyone if they just use the money first and then they get the money reimbursed from the wardens?
So I
From
feel right now the budget we have in a hostel is not enough. First point, and second point, to getting money from the warden account is very difficult. So I talked to my warden also. He said it's better to, if you get the money from the outside or if you maybe from the sponsor. Sponsor is not possible, so we are getting from alum's fund. So I
You
have
will take
told
a
them
temporary advance from the CCW account, right?
but
That
yeah,
is supposed to.
that is kind of a loan only. So I wanted to that's what I went to the CCW office like 6 months back something. So I went and talked to them. They were not agreeing on the point to giving the loan or giving the temporary advance for the big amount, let's say. They are fine with the 10k to below 10k or something like that, but they are not ready to give directly because they need a lot of feasibility and lot of back questioning for that thing. So I feel if you want to do something within the hostel that is necessary, it's an easier way and better way to go through the alum side. And later on, we can directly the money will be coming to the hostel office and hostel warden account, and we can utilize from that way. I feel this is a much easier way that going through the CCW, because CCW has a longer process compared to the ACR office.
Okay, and just about talking about these outside infrastructure, you mentioned some volleyball courts and some basketball courts which are outside. Now,
Yeah,
suppose this money comes to one certain warden, why will that hostel allow other students to play? Because you said it will be used collectively.
yeah, right.
How is that going to happen?
So yeah, this is going to be happen within the like booking system. That's what we do in our inside the hostel. But whatever the facility is outside the hostel, let's say fund is coming for the specific. Let's say Tapti hostel don't have the currently they have a volleyball court, but let's say assume they don't have a volleyball court. So the plan is Tapti hostel warden will develop will get the money to develop the volleyball court, but they will be having the priority for their hostels. But other people from the other hostel can also use that. But because the facility doesn't come under the hostel, because whatever the facility are outside the hostel that doesn't come under the hostel council or hostel warden. So this money will be this facility can be used by any other person outside the hostel also. So for the permission sake, I have taken feasibility this for feasibility from the CCW, and for the let's say for the booking system, we'll be having the security guard outside the hostel. So whosoever is using the facility will be having the booking system. Just say like submit the ID card and register, put in the name in the register, and you can utilize use that facility.
And this will be open to all students.
Yeah, open to all. Yeah, basically open to all.
Okay, coming to your points about contingent connect, nurturing and promoting intra-contingent bonding and fitness, isn't this one of the roles and responsibilities? So why have you mentioned it on your manifesto?
Yeah, I feel this is the role and responsibility. Yeah, that is the part. But I feel this is something monotonous happening. We don't have any fun element within them. So we talk a lot about the contingent bonding and all, but I feel as a part of the as a part of if I aspiring ISS, I feel there is a need to promote sport as a fun element within the contingent. So my plan is to introduce some fun event like let's say low key event, let's like a handball, and the events just like capture the flag, let's say dodgeball. So these are the some few events that will be involving all contingent as a whole, and we'll be having team sports and team engaging sports rather than having the fitness session. We'll be having a proper warm up session for before the playing the sport, and after that we'll be playing the sports. This will help to connect contingent more that we used to do before in a better way.
Right. Ardra or Sushant, can you let Prahlad ask a question? He's the captain of the football team.
No, just a moment.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
you're audible.
So I mean, I have like a few questions regarding the contingent connect point on your manifesto. So you have mentioned that you'll have fun events for the entire contingent, right? So first off, I have like around like 3 questions, but yeah. So first off, by contingent, what timeline do you have for starting these sessions? And 2, like we did this year, right? We tried to have the contingent come and like have these warm-up sessions and stuff, but then we have coaching in the morning, in the evening, and then people have their classes or workshop or whatever. So how are you going to incentivize or make sure people attend it? And 3, this time what happened was all the teams were sticking to their own team, and there was actually there was no mingling between teams. So how do you see yourself bridging that gap between the teams?
Yeah. Got your question. Yeah, thanks, Prahlad. Yeah, so the first point I will take timeline. So my plan is to conducting after the mini camp and before the main camp, so that we started this year, as you said, we started this year like try to do something for the contingent bonding. Sorry. So we try to do as a fitness part. So this manifesto point, I'm trying to introduce some fun event kind of thing, so that this is kind of incentive, because everyone from the sports, let's say athletics team or some other team, they wanted to have because this is practice whatever every team is doing, that is very monotonous. So this is something we are giving the opportunity to explore something else, or maybe have a fun within the practice session or after the practice session. So this will be one of the incentive that they will be having the fun session, and everyone like to play some team sports or maybe some fun games. So I feel this will be the one of the incentive that because this year we have the fitness thing that was also kind of a drill that we do for the inter-IIT. So this will be not the drill, but this will be the fun event. Timeline I told, and mingling. There was no mingling within the inter team. You said. So this will, as I said, this will be the incentive because everyone likes to play fun sport. So I feel this can be done, and this will be done within the in between the main camp and mini camp.
Right. So some points regarding your answer. One, between mini camp and main camp, like Prahlad mentioned, people will have NSEMs coming up, which is a big,
Yeah.
You have to set aside time for academics. And also at that time, we also draw back on practice, right? We pull back, we allow people to go study. So how do you ensure like people are going to spend enough time to go outside of practice sessions and come again for playing some fun sports, which is also a physical activity? People are tired enough from the high load of practice that is going on at the time, and you want them to engage again in physical activity. Why will people spend that time instead of just having normal practice or giving time to acads and other commitments?
Yeah. So as well, NSEMs are coming in between the main camp and mini camp. So the plan is like we'll be having, obviously during the exam time, we don't have intense practice usually. So those who are coming for many of the people won't be coming for the exams also, due to the exams also. So the plan is to just before the main camp we can do, or maybe just before like just after the mini camp also we can do. So we have enough gap. I feel.
Point just before main camp is NSEMs. Main camp
Yeah.
begins one day after NSEMs end. And immediately after mini camp is also when that period starts where there is less than 2 weeks left for insims. So how are you ensuring people are going to come? Again, if you mention that not many people are going to come, how is this going to improve contingent bonding? If not everyone turns up, there is not going to be any bonding.
Yeah, so I talked about that. Not many people will be coming. That is when the exams are ongoing. I have seen people go for practice if they have NSEMs also, and I have seen not there is a number difference obviously, but there are people those who comes for the practice. But my plan is to just before let's say NSEM just before main camp is not possible, so we'll try to do it just after mini camp. So in this, I feel that can be done because we have enough gap, at least more than week we have the gap. So, and this will be not the one-time thing. This we can do within, if you want to reschedule, I don't mind to reschedule also. We can do in mini camp also, this thing. As a practice session in like maybe on Saturday night, Saturday evening, or maybe like one day off for the game, and everyone will be coming in the Vatsa or maybe some common ground, and there they will be playing as a team sport.
Okay, Adra, Sushant, I think Prahlad has raised his hand again. Can you let him unmute?
Yeah, so again, with respect to this, right, you were saying people would turn up even if it's just after mini camp. So there's one more issue for injuries, right? Like if you have fun games, people are by virtue going to like go all out because they're having a blast. So right after mini camp, when people need rest, or just before mini camp when people need to like get back into form, the scope of having an injury is like much higher. So I don't understand like how you're going to address this issue. For example, in football, injuries are a huge issue. So if you do this, the odds of people getting injured are just going to increase by a lot.
Yeah, I agree. Like that's why I mentioned specifically very low skill requirement game that won't be involving any rigorous activity. Let's say if you are playing dodgeball, so I don't feel like if you are playing dodgeball or something, some sort of game like that, you won't be having injury. Football is very intensive sports, so that's a competitive sport also. So there's a chance of injury more compared to this such events. What I'm trying to introduce is that is something more like a team event, but not very intensive. That will you get the injuries or some sort of that. And one more thing is there for the injury part. This is like when there's a chance of the probability of the injury will happen. But one more thing I plan to do it in my there's one the illuminate sorry not illuminate part. Some point was there. So my plan is to like talk with the other people from the contingent just before. Let's say right now we are starting in the mini camp. So we'll be having session with the senior and the junior, those who are fresh or maybe a beginner level, or maybe those who are only one year in the contingent, and those who are in the seniors. Because mostly senior will be graduating this year. Those who played inter-IIT and maybe 2 times or 3 times. So my plan is to like transfer the knowledge so that whatever the practices they used to do, and additionally we are planning to add more workouts specifically for the injury cure. Let's say like we don't used to do plyo trainings and all. So this year my plan is to introduce with every team contingent. So they will try to start
Essentially,
the
you're
practice
saying it's
early.
going to become another fitness drill.
No. This won't be fitness. This is a part of the drill. Whatever they do as a warm up. So let's say you are doing every team do. I feel every team do the warm up. So this will be this takes only 5 minutes, some sort of while before just doing after doing warm up, it takes 5 minutes to do such activities. So this can be done to improve a small injury that we usually have during the main camp. So this is the one point. And if the injury is happening, yours just like last say. So I feel I'm introducing such game that doesn't require a high intensity games. So that will be more kind of fun event rather than competitive event.
Right. Yeah. So just to like reiterate, what you're saying is you'll have like a small warm up followed by some stretches to reduce injuries, and then you'll have these like fun games. Am I understanding it correctly?
No. So like I split in 2 points. One I said ki we'll be having a low intensity game, more like a team fun game. Another part I said like before let's say we are starting a mini camp. So we'll be having sessions with the senior and junior. Those will be providing the skills and new kind of workout that we introduce in the warm up period. That is within the mini camp and main camp. This will be including in the practice. so that we can have a stronger ankle, stronger joint. This is the part of the getting stronger point. This will be done so that we can reduce the injury part in the main camp. This is the
Got
another
it.
point.
But isn't that already a part of like coaching in itself?
No. See, I have been playing sports for a very long time, but I haven't seen any institute player like I see any institute they do proper any workout, let's say plyo or isometric, and there are few specific categories of drills that we do use as a part of the sports
Got it.
that
Okay.
specifically target to the joints or maybe very small muscles. So usually, what I have seen in this entirety, many people get in injury in the last period. That is because they have worked a lot on strengthening, but they miss out the some very basic part. Let's say you don't work on the joint part. They worked on the thighs and big muscles, but they miss out some very crucial parts like what you say like joints or maybe ankle part. So I feel this can be done, so we can reduce the risk of the injury.
Got it. Okay. Cool. Cool. Nice.
Thank you.
Right. So moving to the next point, felicitating forerunners. Can you explain this point? What you mean by rewarding meritorious members of each sport and incentivizing orange time?
Yeah. So yeah, felicitating forerunners is like for the people to encourage more for the inter-IT probables, and there are two split. One is the inter-IT contingent dinner after inter-IT, and another is the incentivize the orange tag as a like what to say materializing that part. So I feel like this time we had some sort of the orange tag thing, but I feel if we incentivize player, let's say I have done I have improved the performance a lot and I have been consistent throughout the month. So if I'm getting some incentive in the month end in front of the whole team with from the captain or let's say from the coach, I'm getting something as a memento kind of, so that is more effective for me to like push more in the next month, let's say. So this is something I feel like rather than just having the tag thing, if we incentivize such thing for the institute member team probables, they will push more and they will be more regular because this is something you are acknowledging them with in front of the all, like
That
as
is
a
what
team.
orange tag is doing right now, right? You are already awarding it. So what are you incentivizing the tag?
Yeah, so right now we are not giving anything as such. We are just so right now we are having orange tag. We just circulate the mail and we have just a photo. Yeah, that is also one of the part like to incentivize. But I feel that is not that enough because people there are people kind of people those who are fine with that. There are people those who are they wanted something more to incentivize them. So my part is like if we can pull that sort of people also, that will help to cater better people in the inter-IT probables, and we can, if there is a need to materialize thing, I don't mind doing that because I want to improve the performance as a team whole.
Right, you're just speaking around in circles. I asked you what you mean by incentivizing it.
Incentivizing means maybe providing the badge, maybe a water bottle. That is not decided, we'll decide later. So but this is
So
something
giving
like
goodies
a kind of, yeah, basically goodies.
Right.
But that will be very minimal cost, not hype and nothing. But
and
this
how
is
are you
something
exactly
moving.
rewarding meritorious members of each sport?
Yeah, so meritorious, yeah, so that is a second part. That is after the inter-IT, we don't have any facilitation or celebration after we win. This time we won men's GC. So I feel there should be some recognition for the institute team. And many of the people don't know in like as of talking as a GSB people, many people don't know like what we did and whatever achievement we have done. So this should be something that will promote that will create the enthusiasm after the break also, let's say after the December break, and we come to the new semester in January. So we'll be having the ceremony where we'll be having the dinner, and we'll be having the facilitation to the people those who perform well in the inter-IT, and this criteria will be decided on the merit of the whatever inter-IT council used to decide in the inter-IT meeting, because it's not everyone get the medals or everyone get the recognitions in the inter-IT team because
So
they
what
have other
exactly
criteria.
is Gymkhana Day?
In the Gymkhana Day, we do only the people those who got the awards or they have achieved something. We
Are you
give
sure?
award to them. Yeah.
We give certificates to all inter-IT team members also.
Yeah, so but that is specifically done by the Gymkhana. As a contingent, we don't have the let's say we don't have any team meet or team treat or something like that as a whole contingent.
But
So
teams
I
are
feel it will,
individually incentivized to go for all that, right? That is the responsibility of the captains. Again, this would be
yeah.
more of a responsibility rather than a manifesto point.
No. The point is like as a team individual, they do for their intra-team bonding. This is
Okay.
something has to be that has to be done for the inter-team as a contingent bonding, I feel. So if we do as a contingent thing, because I feel there is no such event that happen as a whole contingent within the institute.
So you want to
So
have an exclusive event just for the contingent.
yeah, exclusive event where all the sports officers, authorities, those who are involved in the inter-IT, they will be coming. Director will be coming, and the sports advisor will be there, and
So
all the
if this is
contingent
just
bodies.
for the contingent, then how does this help general students coming to know about the contingent?
Because this will be something we are trying to portray to the GSB. This is something happen for the specifically for the contingent people. They have put a lot of efforts, and this will be publicized to them because they have earned this, because they have put a lot of efforts within the span of like 4 to 5 months. They went to inter IT and they came back here and they have achieved this.
No, but why not focus on publicizing inter-IT in a better way, like getting permission for getting media team members also to come along or something like that? Why do you want to do an event after coming back rather than just publicize this while it's going on? Because I don't think any other teams in Insti, any other competitive teams do this. I don't see C5 teams doing this, which is an exclusive event just for themselves after coming back. It is the event that is publicized, right? So why not focus on inter-IT and making students aware of that rather than spending resources to do an event after coming back to the campus?
So yeah, if you want to publicize there, we need one person from our contingent to go there and like have a
Yeah, I
proper
mentioned
media
that. So
coverage.
why not
Yeah.
try to put your efforts into that rather than doing it after people come back and a separate event, including a lot many more people, and additional resources will also go into this.
No, sir. This money will be coming. Like I talked to advisor, he is fine. He thought he is fine with this thought process. He said, yeah, there should be something that like not as a kind of dinner also, but he said like something we should done for the people those who went for inter-IT.
Yeah, so that
Because
is
this
Gymkhana
is
Day, right? We are felicitating all students who are part of
what.
the sporting sphere. We give out awards for best players as well. So if that is
But
already happening, why do you want an
there we do for Schreiter and everything that happened in institute, right? So I feel that is some sort of exclusiveness will be there for the people those who went to inter IIT.
Okay.
So the point is to like just to give a except what do you say, separate recognition for the people those who went to inter IIT and they have done exceptionally well in their events, or maybe they have performed well, but they didn't got the rank, or they didn't achieve the medal in the inter IIT, but they have performed exceptionally well.
By that logic, let's pick any team sports. According to our understanding, they would have performed pretty well, right? Regardless of what position they've placed. So that means you are recognizing the entire contingent, not just certain specific members. So what do you mean by meritorious members?
Meritorious member, let's say Sajusha this time, she's supposed to get the best woman performer in the inter IIT, but some issue happened with the inter IIT Delhi contingent, and they said like some other got elected. So I feel she could have like she already got 3 medals. So I feel she had done very well work in the athletics team, and contributed to the GC also. So
Just
I
a
feel something.
clarification, she did receive the award. She received it jointly with another student, but she has received the award. But yeah, go on.
Yeah, so like for the recognition of for her, because she did, no one knows what she did here. Like for that, I feel like
The
we have
director
some sort of.
mentioned this in his speech. So, in terms of recognition, you want more than that in front of the GSB.
Yeah, so that's what like if we have this contingent thing, let's say facilitating like dinner wala part, if we have, so I feel if you do in that part that period, that will be more recognizable for the GSB, because in the meet, or if you say something, if we have a proper event and if you're doing within the event, that will give more recognition than just telling people that this happened.
Right. Still confused, but yeah, let's go on to further points. Okay, can you explain Sportify and how this is different from any previous events which have been conducted?
So yes, Spotify is specifically targeted to the people those who are new to institute. So my plan is to like let's say that can be cater also for the GSB as a fun event also, but is this a proposal? So whom we will consider, but majorly like Freshy will be there. So Spotify is a event like 1 day event will be there. We'll be having a teams. They will be having low preparation task. You just need a few minutes or few time to just think and do it. So we'll be having inline tasks with each sporting facility. So one by one, if they complete the task in the let's say sporting
Do you know
sports
about
course
the
or
Amazon's race initiative that was done by the women's rep a few years back? Isn't this similar to that?
no, I feel they had some sort of different thing. They had a proper sports event. This is kind of a fun part. Here we'll be having the task. They had a proper event kind of thing. You have to play one sport, you have to then go to other sport. But I feel it takes a longer time, and from the for the logistic also, and from the organizing body also, it takes a lot of time and effort. This is something low effort and low prep, and this is for the GSB, and this can be done very executed very easily and with the less logistic. I feel.
When will this be done?
This will be done just like for if you are talking for the freshie, this will be done just after they come to as a like a like introduction of the sport part for the freshies and for the MTech people also.
So this will be done as part of the orientation.
Not exactly orientation, but just like introductory event for them. Orientation happens separately for every other sphere, so we won't be doing with them.
Right.
But
So let's just
yeah.
take like the 1 week period after freshies come. They have orientations for all the spheres going on, and immediately after almost 1 week, you'll have NSO sessions and freshies right at the beginning. So where will you find time to do this?
So
Because the
yeah,
week
within
will also be packed
yeah.
with orientations, multiple orientations at times.
Right. So like I said, this will be having like maybe 1 day, but not exactly the full whole day. But as a 1 day prep and 1 day event will be happening. So let's say if you are doing let's say Freshie will be coming there, and this will be happening before NSO. Yeah. If you are targeting to the Freshie, this will be happening before NSO. If you are targeting to the GSB people, that can be conducted anytime of the period. But if you are, as I said, I am targeting to like Freshie for now. We can expand this idea. But right now, if you are targeting for the Freshie, we'll be doing just before NSO. And if they're having the orientation session, we'll do proper shortlisting when we have the time, 1 day time, and we'll be organizing the event because we don't need a lot of logistic part. So this is very easy to conduct the event. I feel so. This can be done within before the NSO thing.
Okay, just I think you need to be very clear about the timeline and how you are going to implement this because there are going to be a lot of preparation involved. It's not a low prep event in any way because the entire freshie batch, if you are donating, if you are keeping aside one entire day for them, they will all like to participate in this, and that is a strength of almost at least more than 500 people. So it is definitely not low prep. So I think you need to have a very clear idea of how you're going to do this. Coming to your strong her point, which is the last one in new initiatives of the basket, you say target initiatives such as NSO football and women only beginner sessions, but these have already been happening throughout the year. So, what are you introducing as new and why is it on your manifesto?
This is something that we don't have. Like let's say NSO football I have mentioned, right, and women's only beginner sessions. So this is happening only for football right now. So we can introduce for cricket and hockey also. This is something like women's only beginner session for the hockey and cricket officially. Right now, NSO football is there. Like as an they don't have a specific body. Like I feel like 2 or 3 people those who are in the part of the NSO football. But I have seen people are like from the girls women's representing team. I have seen 20 or 17 people usually comes as per their record and as per their say. So I feel they should have a separate recognition, not recognition. I feel they should have a separate event or separate timeline for their own game event or team event. So this is something targeted to them so that they can keep playing and enjoying the sports what they love. And for women's, I said yeah. So to expanding to this point, it will be doing same for the cricket if we have enough participation. Same for the hockey also.
Right. So how do you go about increasing participation? What are you going to do to increase participation?
So
And
my plan.
so hockey was also tried out, and so cricket for women was also tried out. Is because of no participation, very few members, so the coaches have decided not to go ahead with this, because if only 5 people turn up for NSO cricket, there is no point, because it needs a minimum number of people to teach. So if there is no participation, what are you doing to increase that apart from beginner sessions?
Yeah, right. So apart from beginner session, the plan is to, like, there are seniors those who wanted to play, but they don't got enough participation during their tenure. Let's say, like, some senior from the fourth year, maybe some from the PhD people, some from the PhD. They don't have enough people in the this year, maybe in the, like, previous year. But I have seen there is an N2 in the freshie batch, and from the 21 batch also there are people those who really wanted to play cricket and football. I'm not sure, very sure about the hockey, but the hockey can be introduced in the future purpose. But I feel for hockey and football, there are enough people from 21 and 22 batch, those who really wanted to do, but there is no proper such.
Why did they not join NSO programs? What is the
Uh,
reason?
why they will join NSO?
Why did they not join NSO when it was conducted for them?
So I feel they might don't know about this thing, or because, see, I have seen the participation of the football team, because I have seen around, like, 12 members playing there when I was telling you that we need a floodlight for that ground in between the hockey and football ground. I went there and checked there. I have seen, like, 12 to 14 girls were playing there. So I feel there might be some other reason they couldn't come for the NSO practice
Have
or
you
something
found
like
that
that.
out?
NSO selection.
Like, shouldn't you focus on that, or talk to them and at least have their inputs as well?
Yeah, I've taken inputs from there only. So this point came after talking to them, actually. So they wanted to have some specific team, or like some specific structure for them. So that.
But you understand why I'm asking you this, right? Because all these things are being
Right.
conducted and it's not increasing women's turnout, which is what you mentioned. You need to do something else, which you need to figure out.
Right. I've talked to them. They said, like, they need a proper coach, but at this point of time, coach is something is a difficult to get for them specifically. But we'll try to do it with other senior people, those who are already playing from. Let's say, there are 2 or 3 seniors, those who are from 19 batch. They're playing football in during their first year, but they don't have enough participation. They stop playing that. But they were saying this year they have enough number of students, a freshie student or 21 batch. They are very much interested, so they are willing to become as a kind of a informal captain. They are coming every day. They're playing there. So I still don't know the point why they don't come for the NSO football, but still they are practicing and going every day in the football, in between the football and hockey ground. So they are playing there.
Okay.
Sorry, sir. We have
Yeah.
time constraints. We'll have to wrap it up in another 5 minutes, so please ask accordingly.
Cool. You can ask any audience questions, or I think Avani is
Yeah.
your badminton captain. If anyone else has questions, you can go ahead with those first.
Okay. Leaving it to the audience. If you have any questions, please.
Kindly raise your hand if you want to ask any question. I'll unmute you, and accordingly you can ask.
Okay, I think there are no questions. Rudra can continue.
Yeah, I have like 2 final questions. First is it's a situational question. Abhishek, let's assume you are at the Inter-IT Sports Meet and there are allegations of contingent members using some performance enhancing substances, and you have received this complaint. So, what is your plan of action?
So to just repeat the question, like, you said there is some allegation.
Yeah.
To the contingent member, we are in the Inter-IT.
Yep.
Allegation regarding specifically. Like,
Using performance
behavior?
enhancing substances or.
Okay, fine. Okay, fine. Understood. Yeah. So yeah, if we find out, like, person is there and he's involving in such kind of stuff, so we'll talk to the captain, respective captain, and inform the captain, and captain will talk to them and inform the allotted sport advisor. So first I will go to sport officer, those who are came along with us.
Okay.
We'll tell them, and after that we'll raise the issue in the institute, because I have heard this thing, like, if such thing happens, so there's a chance or there's a probability that we might get like a 2 year ban from the inter IIT, some sort of like this. So yeah, so if I don't want to bear that cost just because of the one person. I don't feel this is fair enough for the whole contingent because one person has done the mistake. This should be done. Whatever the required action are there, that could be done with the institute admin part, because we are also we are representing our institute, so this is the responsibility of the institute. So they will be taking the respective actions accordingly. So we'll raise the issue to the dean, and dean will take care about this.
So what if it is found out to be true and organizers are pushing for disqualifying the whole contingent? So what do you do?
So I will try to have a meeting or like separate meeting with them, and like if in the board meeting I will try to convince them, and we'll try to tell them this is not something done by the whole contingent. We are really sorry for that, and I feel like we'll try to push from our institute side, like I try to involve other higher authorities so that we have a safer side. And yeah, in this way we can try to propose them like not to involve as a whole contingent, because this is done by the one person and not involved by the, because the 185 people are there in contingent, only one person has done the mistake, not everyone deserve the punishment. So
okay, all right.
Yeah.
And regarding what do you call it, general improvement in the NSO program, do you have any specific plan? Because the number of students are increasing, and we have a general consensus that not all students get an equal chance to participate in all sports, because it is based on selections, which in turn is based on skills. So do you have any plan of action to improve NSO as a whole? Because I've not seen many points on the manifesto regarding this.
Okay, improve NSO as a whole, right?
Yeah, improve the NSO experience for freshers.
Okay. So one thing we can do exactly for them is like we can have a introductory session, or maybe less. It can be a beginner session also, but that usually happen, I think so. What we can do is we can have a proper just like the orientation that happened for the PORs. We can do some sort of that and on ground thing. So we'll be calling freshers and we'll be telling that this is something required skills or
Yeah,
required
but the
criteria for
problem is
getting
not
into.
orientation. There are people who want to play, but they are not able to play because there is a selection process involved, and they feel
Right.
instead of a learning thing, it is more based on people already who know the sport get to play the sport. So how do we change that?
Okay. Yeah, specifically talking about the people, those are not enough experience, but they wanted to play for as a part of the institute.
We don't have the infrastructure or capacity to handle these students. So what can we do for that?
So yeah, for them we can have a beginner sessions that we already have. Like we can try to improvise the beginner session and like involving and improvising the beginner session, and in there they will get the chance to learn, because these are the people those who wanted to learn and they wanted to play. So the beginner session can be dedicated to them, and we'll try to emphasize more properly to organize the beginner sessions. And there will be events throughout the year that will be keep engaging them. So, and I feel there are weekenders also, club weekenders also. So the plan to organize club weekenders for the GSB people, those who cater to this kind of public. So there will be the learning graph for them, because club weekender beginner sessions happens for them also, only. So, but to specifically for the NSO, it's very difficult because we have a limited capacity, and it's a course, kind of a course. So I feel we can't increase the capacity, and we can improvise with the help of the beginner session and weekender sessions.
All right. Cool. Adra, Sushant, I'm done. If there is any question on the forms or anything, you can go ahead with that, or we can close.
Okay, I think, is there any question from the audience? Okay, then I'll ask one final question. Can you explain the 3 branches of student governance in IIT Madras?
3 body?
Yeah, 3 branches of student governance. Yeah.
Student governance. Okay. 3 body of student governance. Okay.
Yes.
One is SLC.
Okay. Can you expand it?
Sorry, I didn't get you. Sorry.
Can you expand it? Full form.
SLC, Student Legislative Council.
Okay.
One is SLC. One is Board of Students, BOS. And third one is third one I think that is Senate.
Third one is, sorry?
Senate. SENET.
Okay. So the first body is SLC, Student Legislative Council. Second is Executive Council. Third is SECC, Student Ethics and Constitution Commission. Okay, I would request you to go through the students' constitution thoroughly. Okay, thank you. We'll wind up the session for today. We'll begin with the soapbox for the post of International Alumni Relations by 9 o'clock. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Soapbox for INR Secretary. So without wasting further time, let's begin with the Soapbox here. Since the candidate is present and the required EC member is also present, simultaneously, this thing is being streamed live on the YouTube. So if anyone wants to ask questions, they can ask through Google form or directly in this Soapbox as well by raising their hands. As per the scheduled time for the GSB, you can ask questions during the GSB time. An EC member will be given the required time to ask question. Soapbox is scheduled for 1 hour. So can you take a note of it? And I hope, Ujjwal, I'm audible to you and you're ready to present your screen so that, yeah, you can begin with the presentation. You have 8 minutes to present. I'll keep track of it. All the best.
Am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible and visible.
Is my screen visible? Yeah.
Yeah, it is visible.
Give me a minute. Hi all. Good evening. I am Ujjwal Nima. I am a third-year undergraduate from the Department of Biotechnology, and I am contesting for the post of International Alumni Relations Secretary. My vision as an IIT Secretary is to improve global brand and engagement, to accelerate corporate relation, and to rejuvenate institute fields among students and alumni. To begin with presenting my manifesto, I'll start with IIR Student Council as a whole, and I'll be restructuring IIR Student Council into ACR Council, Branding Council, and GE Council. We'll be merging events team of GE and operations team of IIR and putting it under Branding Council. We'll be merging design and web ops team, and we'll be formalizing Heritage Club under Branding Council. Moving on to alumni and corporate relations. One of my initiatives is Sarthi Fund, which is a relief fund to help immediate family members of students in case of their medical emergency. We'll be having Freshie Alumni Meetup, wherein we'll be calling alumni during Freshie Immersion Program to nurture their belonging towards their alma mater. Moving on, we have Faculty Alumni Network, which will be an exclusive database wherein we'll be connecting alumni who are faculties at different universities for accelerating research. We also have RNet, which is in which we'll be creating a database wherein we'll be connecting UG students to alumni who are working in research-aligned fields for mentoring purpose and opportunities. We'll be having industry Day in February next year, which will be an event to exhibit innovations in industry and as well as to bridge the gap between industry and academia. We'll be having Beyond Classroom, in which we'll be calling alumni during guest lectures in professional ethics course. Moving on, we have NetWest, which is one of its kind networking and investing opportunity, wherein we'll be calling HNIs across the nation, and they can invest in companies of alumni and students. Moving on to Branding Council, we'll be setting up Institute Branding Store at the Heritage Center. It will be an official branding store along with an online outlet. Students can get premium merchandise like t-shirts, hoodies, water bottles, and keychains from there. We'll also be collaborating with Tamil Nadu Tourism, wherein we'll be promoting Chennai and in turn IIT Madras. We'll be having Creative Camp, wherein we'll be sending interested students to premier creative institutes like NIT, NID, NSD, and NIFTs. We'll be reviving campus times with sections for both alumni and students so that the IIT Madras community has something common to look forward to. We'll be having Savera, since we as IITians and moreover as an individuals have a responsibility to give it back to the society. And for the same, we'll be having an annual fest focusing on spreading awareness about a social cause decided every year, as well as to raise funds and facilitate donations. Moving on to global engagement. We'll be having World University Fair, which will be a 2-day exhibition set up at Research Park, wherein we'll be collaborating with university fairs and calling universities across the world, and they'll be informing students about international opportunities available to them, and as well as they'll be helping in the application process. We'll also be having foreign students immersion to smoothen the onboarding process of foreign students and as well as provide them a holistic experience during their stay at IIT Madras. We'll be having Resolute, which is an annual 2-track hackathon, which invites solutions to the pressing problems of the world. We'll be having Global Energy Conference, which aims to foster innovation and international collaboration to meet global energy requirements. We'll be having foreign faculty mixture, since we have a lot of visiting faculties and permanent faculties here at IIT Madras, and we as students don't get a chance to interact with them. So we'll be having an informal mixture wherein students can have information and cultural exchange with them. We'll be building a foreign students app, which will act as a centralized platform for all information transfer to them, and as well as we'll be addressing their grievances through it. So this was my manifesto. I am Ujjwal Nima, a third-year undergraduate contesting for the post of International Alumni Relations Secretary. You can have a look at my credentials, and thanks for listening to me.
Okay, since the candidate is done with his presentation, now we move on to the question round from the EC. So the present EC I can see in our meet is INA Secretary. I request you to kindly ask the questions. Yeah.
Hey Ujjwal, am I audible?
Yeah.
Okay. So my voice will be a bit low because I'm suffering from fever right now. And so first question I want to ask Ujjwal is, what is the corporate office known as? Corporate office of ACR office, what it is known as?
It's known as Office of Institutional Advancement.
Yeah, correct. And who are the 3 faculty advisors of global engagement?
I couldn't hear you.
Who are the 3 faculty advisors of Global Engagement Council?
Right. So we have three faculty advisors for global engagement. One is Preeti Agaliam, she is for global academics. We have Karthik Raman for global conference, and we have Sachin Gunte sir for global opportunities.
Okay. I want to know that what are the steps that were taken by ACR office to develop sports facilities in the institute?
Right. So recently, ACR office contacted alumni and raised funds for building a new sports complex, which will be built on the tennis court that we have.
Apart from it,
I like, as far as I know, it was pitched during reunions, and we had meet with an alumni from 83 batch, and they proposed the proposal, and they involved students in ideating what is the need, and then they pitched it to the alumni, and then the batch decided.
I'm not asking when it was pitched. By the way, it was not pitched in a reunion. I am asking that what are the other steps taken by ACR office apart from the new sports complex? What are the other steps?
Yeah, so they there were some alumni who were contacted by ACR office, and they donated some amount to revamp the hostel sports infrastructure.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it is right. And which batch it is? It is not 83 batch.
83 batch, if I could remember. Right.
No, it is not 83 batch. It is 76.
76.
Yeah. How many reunions did we had this year?
I think we had 7 reunions this year, since we weren't able to conduct a lot of them due to COVID. So all the 7 were conducted this year during December, last year, I mean.
And what were the major ones?
We had 2 50-year reunions, and we had 2 25-year reunions, and I think we had 1 40-year reunion.
Which reunion is a major reunion? In which reunion the majority of people come?
A 50-year reunion.
Are you sure?
I mean, 25-year and 50-year are the major ones, and I'm not sure which one do you exactly refer as the major.
25-year is the major reunion because in that reunion the majority of people come. 50 years reunion is only a single day reunion, and in that not many people actually come.
Sure.
What is the total fund that is raised by ACR office via CSR funds last year?
It was around 65 crores, if I'm not wrong.
And let's say suppose we are renovating a hostel with alumni money, and one with alumni money and the other with CSR fund. So what is the difference between that? I mean, what is the difference between the policies of renovation?
I couldn't hear the last part.
I'm saying that let's say we are renovating one hostel with alumni money and the other hostel with CSR money. So then what is the difference between the policies of renovation?
Right. So CSR funds, there are some guidelines in the schedule 7, which mentions that what exactly can be used for CSR funds, and if I'm not wrong, CSR funds cannot be used for hostel renovation. Yeah.
Are you sure hostel CSR funds cannot be used for hostel renovation?
Yeah, I read a document that Joseph sir forwarded me for CSR activities, and I mean it according to that document, I don't think CSR funds can be used for hostel renovation.
But then how Godavari is being renovated by CSR funds?
I'm not aware of it, but like as far as I know, CSR funds cannot be used for hostel renovation if they do not concern to development of any infrastructure which helps which helps below poverty line people.
Are you sure? Because like, okay, you are saying that hostel funds cannot, those CSR funds cannot be used for below poverty. I mean, those are only used for below poverty line. But CSR fund is being used in the Institute for Research and Development. A lot of buildings are being made with the CSR fund.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, that comes under a different section. I was talking of infrastructure development for like living spaces. I mean, it was mentioned in the study, but there might be a chance that I am not clear on it, and I'm sorry for it.
yeah, so CSR fund can be used for hostel development. The only difference is, or the major difference is, you need to complete the renovation within one financial year. So
Right.
the year in which you take CSR fund, you have to use the CSR fund in the same financial year.
Right.
Whereas for alumni money, you can use it for extended time, although there is always a deadline, but we can basically extend the deadline, but not for CSR funds.
Right.
Then CRC already have industry conclave, then why do you want to have an industry day? I mean, both are basically the same ideas. You could have just had industry conclave next year. Why you wanted to have added in your manifesto?
Right. So I have mentioned in my feasibility report that I'm planning to scale the current industry conclave. Like adding on to it, like we didn't have any industry conclave this year, and CRC team is not planning to do it. And industry conclave last year, last year was done online, and it was an initiative of CRC team alone, and office was not involved in it. So like calling it as an industry day and scaling it is basically why, because I want to involve ACR office in calling industries and having theme talk and providing a better exposure, and as well as like using the CSR funds in a better way, because last year we also couldn't have CSR Expo. So this industry day will fulfill that, and we could have both of those events in a better manner.
How will a student benefit from industry day?
Right. So we have PhD people over here. We have MS people over here whose projects are whose projects require CSR funding. So having industry day over there will help them. This is one way of how students can get benefited. Another is like we'll be having theme talks, and so people who are like, let's say this year we'll have the theme which are about electric vehicles, or let's say healthcare technologies. So we have some startups who are working on it, so they'll get to network with those alumni, those industrialists, and we'll also having lectures, so which will provide exposure to the level 1 category of entrepreneurs who are just like interested but haven't started their journey. So yeah, this will be how we can benefit GSB.
So there are 2 points. First of all, whatever you said, the same is the vision for industry conclave also, which CRC plan to do. The second thing is, don't you think you are entering into the domain of ESL?
I mean, like both ESL and CRC team of our vision like CRC team of IRSphere have like visions which basically they do not completely align with each other. CRC like ESL focuses to bring in the spirit of entrepreneurship among students who are just starting off, or they're helping who are in the early stage, but whereas vision of CRC is to represent IIT Madras in corporate sphere, and we'll be doing it via industry conclave, and as well as
wait. What I'm telling is, via industry conclave, you are basically providing students an exposure to the startup world, or the budding entrepreneurs will get an exposure to the industry. Okay, the same ESL also does. How is it different? I mean, that is something which does not comes under the visions of IR. Tell me one vision of IR with which industry day aligns.
Right. So corporate relations cell of IRSphere have the vision to represent IIT Madras in the corporate sphere, bring in corporate deals. So that is where we can fit industry day.
What kind of corporate deals?
Corporate deals that benefit students. Like we had affinity deals previously.
Can you tell me 3 affinity deals that we had this year?
We had with OYO, and we had with ICICI, and I couldn't remember of anything else. I think we had recently we had with one company. I forgot the name, but it was for a course courses based, so a student can get courses at a discounted rate.
Yeah, the two you said were right. ICICI is not an affinity deal. It was a sponsorship deal.
Right.
And also the second thing is, can you tell me one big industry project one big industry project or one corporate partnership which CRC bought this year?
It was with Reliance. They were planning to set up the lab here.
Yeah, correct. But I would but I would still suggest that please rethink your vision for industry day.
Sure.
You need to make it something which is very particular with IR Council and not something which overlaps with ESL, because at the end of the day, we are student teams which wants to benefit the students. At the same time, we do not want clashes with the other student bodies.
Sure.
Can you tell me what was one conflict that happened with ESL this year?
It was during a winter industry program. So they also have winter intern fair, and we have winter industry program. So yeah, that was the conflict we had.
No, that was not a conflict actually. See, ESL didn't approach us for that conflict because we did it all together with alumni.
Yeah. So apart from that, we had during IIT Bombay Shark Tank. Like they wanted to collaborate with us, but there were some discussions during collaboration terms that we as an India sphere didn't felt comfortable with. So we decided to go alone.
No, the thing was ki IIT Bombay approached us, IIT Bombay ESL approached us, and we collaborated with them. And at that point of time, ESL didn't approach us for not collaborating. And then after that, after collaborating and after sending out the mail, ESL approached us and said that it is conflicting with their vision and with their initiative. So that was the whole issue. Can you tell me under which Dean Heritage Club comes under?
Sorry, I didn't listen.
Under which Dean Heritage Club comes under?
Heritage Club. I mean, Heritage Club is a student team that we will be forming, and Heritage Center as of now is funded by Dean of Students and Dean Planning.
No, you are wrong. It's not Dean of Students. It is Dean Admin.
Okay.
Yeah. And also, I want to know that do you know about gift.iitm.ac.in?
Yeah, I know about gift shop. Yeah.
Then why is there need of institute branding issue? If there exists already a portal, then you can push in whatever you want to do on that portal. Why do you want to have a separate portal?
No, I don't want to have a separate portal. We'll be integrating it with the gift shop only. We'll be setting up an offline branding store at Heritage Center, but the online outlet will be same as giftshop.iitm.ac.in. We'll just provide access to the students so that they can put up their designs. Like not everyone, IBC.
Okay, and who will design that?
We'll have design and web ops team, but apart from that, IIT is interested to pay volunteers for designing. So like we'll ask our design teams as well, and we'll approach other designers as well, and we'll choose the best design.
And did you take feasibility from Heritage Center for setting up the shop?
Yeah. They are willing to set it up.
Where will you set it up?
I mean, we were discussing and they are planning to shift some of the exhibitions, and we can set up a small stall over there. Yeah, so that was the plan that I discussed with Mamta ma'am.
Will you be having all the merchandise there physically, or will you be just taking orders from there?
So yeah, we'll be having both both the ways, on order and on demand, and as well as we'll be keeping inventory, and inventory will be managed by IITMA. Like they'll be funding for the inventory.
And where will IITMA keep it?
So I was discussing this with Maha ma'am, but she told that Nishani ma'am could give a better idea of it. She was not available, but she said Maha ma'am assured me that we could figure out some place for it. We anyways have some merchandise for 3-4 years old merchandise kept somewhere. So either we can place it there, or they can figure a place in IITMA. But they are also shifting. So right now they are not very clear with it, but they assured me that we can find a place for inventory.
Let's say if they are not able to find, then what will you do?
So I will keep a minimum inventory. Then it will be 15-20 pieces, which can be kept in Heritage Center, and apart from it, will be functioning on order basis.
The second point is when you are taking help of IITMA, will they be having their logo on the merchandise?
No, they don't. Will only be having IIT Madras logo, nothing else. Not
Did
even.
you talk with them? Did you talk with them about it?
Yeah, I talked with Dean ACR and I talked with Mahamim for the same.
And why not IR logo?
Because it will be in like official institute branding store. It's and it's far more than the vision of like I mean, how to phrase it. Just give me a minute. I mean, it's a branding.
Take your time.
Hmm?
Take your time.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, we do take it up as our initiative, but again, it's something for IIT Madras, for the institute, and for the branding of the institute. So, thus, we'll be having only IIT Madras logo. We can have, we will have IR logo over the branding store and also on the gift shop, but not on the merchandise.
Will you be having, so who is your target audience?
For the merchandise?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll be circulating the website link across the social media. So if anyone else is interested, they can have it. But all the GSB members, they can have it, and as well as we'll be giving it to the delegates who are visiting IIT Madras.
So will delegates be buying it, or you will be giving it by
We'll
ACR fund?
We'll be giving it through the ACR funds.
Okay. And how does Savera comes under the vision of IR?
Right. So one of the major vision of IR Council is to brand the institute in a better way, and doing a initiative like Savera focuses on contributing towards the society. So we will project the image of IIT Madras as an institution which cares for the society and the people over here, and they are also concerned for the society, and they are willing to give it back to the society. So that image will be projected, and having an event of that kind, I expect a lot of media coverage for the same, and that will help us to brand IIT Madras.
See, my point is, if vision is a very subjective term, and vision is a very wide term. Even Sarang and Shastra comes under the point of vision. That doesn't mean that IR Council will have the Sarang and Shastra, right? So, can you specifically tell how Savera is different, or how Savera is something which is not happening in any other council or student body?
Right. So every every fest we have, they have some sort of social campaign, and I mean, I don't see a point of conflict there if both Sarang and Shastra are doing their social campaign, so we can't do it. I don't see a conflict over there. And talking of vision, I reinstated, we have had Dan Utsav, we have had reboots, which have functioned on the same lines to project IIT as an institute that cares for the society. And going on with the same vision, I'll be having Savera, which will be a scaled up version of what we have had. And along with it, a lot of new events that will be planned.
Okay. What are your plans to increase the badge engagement project?
Right. So one of the main reason where I feel we are lacking batch engagement project is because people are connected to the people over here, to the people with whom they are graduating, and not with the institute as such. They do have some connect, but it's not as strong as with the people. So I have some of my initiatives which are planned along nurturing the feel of belonging to their alma mater. So that is one thing which will aid people in giving people to have the feeling of giving back. Apart from that, we'll be organizing Wilcoman, and we'll put our best efforts in it, so that the graduating batch have good memories to take with them. And during convocation, we'll be having events that so basically providing them a good experience, so that they are willing to pay back to ITM.
Last year, when did we raise money for batch engagement project?
Sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Last year, when did we raise money for BP?
So we asked them to fill the form during.
No, I'm asking during which event did we ask?
Which event, right? So it was during alumni and Parents Day.
Yeah, right. And so see, the thing is with Wilcomen, the problem is in Wilcomen, people are coming with a different mood, and they generally do not donate for BP at that point of time. Last year we had a record BP collection which we didn't have earlier. So what are your plans in order to keep up with the last year donations?
Right. So just give me a minute.
Yeah, sure.
Right. So, I mean, one idea that I could think of is like, as of for now, we give a book to people who pledge to pay to the institute. So we could like along the same lines, we could come up with something customized for the students, so that those who are those who are willing to contribute, we can give them something customized, maybe a photo frame or something. We can ideate upon it more with the ARC team, but that is something that will motivate them to pay. Because or we could give a photo frame with their group. It can be added more with ARC, but that is something I could think of at this point of time.
What did we give last year for BP?
Yearbook.
And during convocation and welcome that we had for the previous batches, what did we give?
T-shirt that we designed.
Yeah, right. Do you remember the number that we had for BP collection last year?
I think like after BP calling, I think people pledged for more, but what we got in hand was 4 to 5 lakhs.
Yeah. And how many people pledged?
I think the number was around 600, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, something around 600. And tell me one thing, that from where does IIT gets its money from?
Yeah, so they have two sources of money. One is like when any student enters in the institute, they like pay 1,500 to IIT, and apart from that, they raise money on a need basis, like during reunions or stuff.
So a student just gives 1,500 to IIT.
I think it's it's 1,500. Yeah, it's 1,500 only.
Are you sure?
I think I'm not sure that we pay it during graduation as well. So the number is either 3,000 or 500, but I'm not sure on it.
It is 3,000. 1,500 we pay when we enter, 1,500 we pay when we go out. And so you said that the Freshie Alumni Meetup will be funded by IIT. But IIT does not have funds.
I mean, so I talked to them and I pitched them the idea of having Freshie Alumni Meetup, and they said that they are willing to fund for it. I was not aware of their funds problem at that time. But if that's the case, we need to think of an alternative. We'll pitch it to ACR office and we can get funds from them.
And when are you planning to have it?
During Freshie Immersion Program.
During Freshie Immersion Program is itself a very compact program.
Right.
Where will you get time for this?
Yeah. So it's not like a very long event. We just need 2-3 hours. And so I talked to SMC and I talked to the aspiring SGS, and they said we can make that space in the immersion program. So yeah, I think that's feasible.
Don't you think for 2-3 hours just the alumni coming from somewhere else is a very paying job, and at the same time it's very expensive?
Yeah. So I have mentioned in my feasibility report that after the Freshie Alumni Meetup, we'll be having a party for them, wherein alumni can interact with each other. So it will be sort of a one-day reunion, and we could plan more on it, and we could have some events before the meetup as well, so that they have like a holistic stay even if they are coming for one day. So we could structure it on those reunions. The major event will be Freshie Alumni Meetup. We could plan other things to engage them.
Do you know what is the main motive behind reunion?
Main motive
from office side.
From office side, right. So yeah, they want to raise funds, so that is their motive.
So for one day reunion that you are doing, who will be your target audience? And reunion itself is a pretty big task. IIT is completely involved in reunion. Okay, and your new freshie batch will be coming in August. If we go by the common timeline, I mean the general timeline. Okay, so during August, it's not possible to have a reunion.
Yeah, so I agree that it's not possible to have a reunion, and but I'm not planning to call people from every batch. So I believe that people can make space for one day event, and we also have a lot of alumni in Chennai, and I believe recently graduates will be willing to come up. We'll also when ARC will be rolling out forms through IIT, we'll ensure that we'll have some sort of group thing in it, so that recently graduates, like let's say 1 or 2 years, anyways they have feeling to come back to the institute. And I've talked to some of the alums, and they were interested in having a 5-year reunion. So it's not
Okay,
possible
that
during
is
December.
fine. That is fine. But what office is getting out of that reunion? Office won't be able to raise money in that time.
I don't depending on the number of alumni, I think they like, if any alumni is coming, they can pitch to raise funds. That's how it works in reunion as well. So
Reunion does not work. Like raising money, a single alumni do not raise money. A batch raises money for a
right.
specific project, and a 5-year batch won't be able to raise much money. So
Right.
from office point of view, it won't be much profitable outcome.
Right, but if you look at it at the broader, like in it, look at the fresher meetup at the broader way, it will basically help to inculcate the feeling and belonging towards the institute. So when this freshie batch will be graduating, they'll be having connect towards their alumni, towards the institute, and later on they'll be willing, like they'll be more willing to give it back to the institute. And like that's what I pitched to the office, and they were willing to take it up.
That is fine, but anyways, we have Yari program, right?
Yeah, but Yari is online and you don't have in-person interaction. I mean, yeah, again, we could think.
In-person interaction we can have during in-person interaction we can have during reunions.
But like most of the students are not here, and like freshie alumni meetup is like a freshie immersion program is a time wherein we have a whole batch of freshies at one place. Apart from it, it's like it was difficult for us to get volunteers as well during vacation. So having a lot of people to stay here just for interaction will be tough.
And so if you are doing it for freshie, why not for other batches? I mean, second year, third year, fourth year, why are you discriminating them? Then take every batch also inside that reunion, whatever you are having.
So it wasn't planned to discriminate any batch. It's like I thought freshies are someone who have just stepped into the institute, and if they get a chance like this, they'll be that will be something that they will.
But what a freshie will ask from an alumni. I think a second year or third year has more things to ask from an alumni than a freshie.
Right.
A freshie will just have, at max, the freshie can have a talk where alumni comes and says that in this 4 years or 5 years of my life at IIT, I did this and that. But they won't be getting something fruitful because they don't know what to take from the alumni.
Right. So like as I told earlier as well, the vision or the motto of this alumni meetup with freshies is not to give something meaningful in terms of career opportunities or guidance, but it was to inculcate the feeling towards their alma mater. So that was the vision of this program as such. But I agree with the point that if alumni are coming there and the alumni meetup could end in just 2-3 hours, so we could scale it to other batches as well, and we could probably think for some fundraiser event as well. I think I need to ideate on it, and I'll like sit with ARC team. I'll talk with both ACR office and IIT and you as well, and we'll figure out a way how that could be done.
Cool. So Sushant, my questions are almost done. So you can pass the mic to GSB and other codes.
Sure. If anyone of you have any question, please raise your hand. I will unmute you, and accordingly you can ask the question. Course, GSB, anyone? Please raise your hand.
Hi, Ujjwal. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, Shambhaya, I'm the GECO. We'll keep it quick and short. Just walk me through all your, so you have given a bunch of initiatives for the Global Engagement Council, but what's your overall vision for the council? How do you plan to structure it, restructure it? And at the end of your tenure, what do you want the council to achieve? Do you want it to achieve autonomy, greater collaboration? What are your final goals for the council? In very short answer, and then we can move to the specific initiatives.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I think I lost the internet in between. Like, am I audible now?
Yeah, now you're back.
Yeah. Yeah, so I was just saying, like, the fundamental vision of GE is very strong in terms of like how it's on paper, but in terms of practicality, we need to ensure that the work done is very efficient. And so like, I look forward to for the Global Engagement Council to gain autonomy as well as gain visibility amongst the GSB. So yeah, those are some of my, those is the basic idea. That is the basic idea.
Yeah, I get that, but how do you envision, like, do you want to have more teams within global engagement, or do you want to so there was talk of having a common social media team, right, for IR and global engagement.
Yeah.
So do you want to further bolster that by making a global social media team only for global engagement? Because now the office also has its own Instagram page, and they are kind of investing heavily into all of these fields. So could you just elucidate on what more you want to, what more changes you want to effect within the council?
Right. So, like, talking of like I'll start with the structure. So as of now, I'm planning to like merge events team in GE Council and operations team in ACR Council. That is because like we have the fundamental vision of events team was like clashing with OT and WCT, and there are a lot of clashes. So to avoid that, and also to like build a common support team for ACR Council and GE Council, branding council will have all those teams, and I'll be having I'll be continuing with the current structure of having cores in GE Council, because like continuing with the vision of what previous secretaries have to eventually split GE from ACR. But as of now, GE doesn't like have that efficiency, that good of a track record. So, and if we are planning to split up, GE will have to have all the support teams like media team, design team, web ops team, events team for GE if we are planning to split them. So I'm not planning to do it immediately next year.
Right. So that's where my question stems from. How will you lay down the foundation for that?
Right. So this year, what I'm planning to do is like have some fixed set of initiatives for the GE Council. Like I have my initiatives. There are some initiatives that are being done every year. I will sit with I'll sit with you guys like for the previous course and new course and new heads. Will finalize like what are the fundamental things that GE Council as a whole needs to do every year. And like once that is finalized, we'll do that this year. Like if GE Council is like capable of doing all this, like whatever we planned, then we can gradually start off having the different support teams, or and then like eventually split it.
All right. Okay. So as of now, your only idea is having a common branding council, which will help us in terms of branding. All right. So next year, if your vision is implemented, we'll only have 2 teams within the Global Engagement Council, right? And external support from Branding Council,
yeah,
right? And we'll have one FACAD focusing completely on G.
Yeah.
Is that it? All right. Okay. So I think I understand the measure of your ideas. So now, the 2 teams that you have, right? Opportunities and WCT. There are 2 teams you wish to retain. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So of your 6 initiatives, how many fall within the purview of each? Could you give me a quick breakdown?
Yeah. So like foreign students immersion will completely be taken care by WCT, and foreign faculty mixture will be completely taken care of by WCT.
Right.
Foreign students will be taken care of by WCT and IIT Branding Council Web Ops team. And World University Fair, Resolute and Global Energy Conference will be taken care by OT. So fairly, it's an equal split.
Okay, you say it's an equal split, but you must remember that Opportunity Outreach team already has the mandate to create these, whatever we have done so far, right? That's the yearly thing you're alluding to. Right. Compared to that, WCT has relatively fewer things on its hand. And with if you remove the events team, the Subra Suresh lecture series will also fall in the purview of the WCT team.
So yeah, WCT team along with operations team, the common operations team.
Okay, sorry. So let me just rephrase my question. Knowing all the initiatives you wish to introduce and all the existing ones, just give me a breakup of which teams will handle what.
Like of all my initiatives or like other initiatives as well?
Yeah, everything that's been going on so far and everything you're planning to introduce.
Right. Yeah. So from my initiatives, OT will have World University Fair, It will have Resolute. It will have Global Energy Conference. Apart from that, they have like they make Blue Book. They conduct information exchange session.
Okay.
So yeah, those are the things I could recall for OOT. WCT will have International Day. They will have
All right.
foreign. They'll have foreign students immersion, which will be twice a year.
Okay.
They'll be having foreign faculty mixture, which will again maybe twice a year, depends on the availability of foreign faculties, which G Office and WCT will decide together. And also foreign students app, like they'll help in ideation. Apart from that, they'll be moderating. So, and like one of the major thing WCT has to do is ensure the ensure that the stay of the foreign exchange students or all the foreign students over here at IIT Madras is smooth. So they have something or the other thing around the year. They'll also take a Pondy trip or any trip for that matter.
Yeah, any trip for that matter, as and when the people come in. All right. So let's focus on your initiatives regarding WCT.
Right.
So foreign students app. Now, first of all, have you checked the technical, like who is given the technical green light for this idea?
Right. So it's coming from both inbound coordinator Luke and WebOps like this year WebOps head Mitesh. So I've talked with them, and there are two ways two ways how we can go for this. One is with the app will be completely developed by students, but I mean, Z Office is not sure if they want to give the backend access to the students or not. So that is something we are still discussing. And another way,
exactly,
the wireframing will be done by students and it will be developed by an outside developer. So yeah, that is the other idea, and Z Office is willing to fund it. If
right. I got the funding bit, but the more touchy aspect over here is that even last semester the G office was very apprehensive of sharing the data with any of the students, and for valid reasons too, right? Also understand that these are people, most folks who are coming down to IITM, a lot of them don't even have WhatsApp. So they are very apprehensive of any application. So how will you tackle that bit? First of all, convincing G Office it's a good idea to have this app and taking care of features like privacy, security, etc. And secondly, convincing all the folks who are coming down from a different culture, right? Culture and technical background, convincing them to for the uptake of this app.
Right. So everyone has a smartphone right now. So downloading an app will not be a technical issue that they will have. Like I'll just
but how will you convince them that it's fine and not a security hazard?
Yeah, I'm coming. What? Sorry, can you repeat?
How will you convince them that this app is perfect? There are no bugs. It will not harm their phone, and there are no security hazards for them.
Right. So, yeah, on the technical aspect, we'll have to do multiple dry runs to ensure that. And I believe that like whoever becomes the WebOps head next year, has the capability to ensure at least the dry runs, even if the app is developed by someone outside the IIT Madras. Our WebOps head will be capable of ensuring that there are no bugs. First thing. Secondly, I have talked with Z Office. Even they wanted to have some centralized platform wherein they can share all information to them, not just any events, but also the information about the cultural programs will also be we are also discussing if we could have no centralized platform wherein we can share how to use workflow or everything that they use. It will act as a one-stop platform for it. So given the convenience the foreign students will have after having this app is one thing that will make them to download it. Secondly, when the foreign students come, that day itself will have QRs wherein during the onboarding process we'll have this QR wherein they can download the app. Obviously will not make it mandatory, but that is something we can ask them to do so. And again, it's something we want. It's something that we are doing to make their stay comfortable. And I believe a lot of people will be willing to do it. And I've talked to Alvaro, who is a current foreign exchange student, and he was very happy with the idea. So I believe there will be other students who will be willing to download it. And if someone is not interested, I don't think we can do much rather than sending him all the details on email.
Right. I was hinting at the transparency that we'll have to ensure with them. And also, I guess there's something you should think about. If something can be solved using a website and a forum on a website, why would you want to install something on someone's phone? I think that's a simple question. If there are simpler solutions, Let's just look for those.
Right. So why I initially asked G office for to have a website only, but like when we were discussing, we came across a very important issue that this, for instance, not the semester exchange students but full-time students. They are they refrain from reaching out back to the office if they have any grievances. So if we could figure out a way for them to anonymously connect with each other and as well as raise grievances, so we figured out that app would be a good platform for that.
Wait, so the app will be anonymous?
No, it will have an anonymous feature as well, wherein they can raise their grievances anonymously.
Okay, so I mean, if you can have that for an app, why can't you have it for a website?
Right, we can have it, but then we don't have notification feature. So again, they'll miss out on information. We even we as students miss out a lot of information if they are coming on email. And for foreign students, it will be too much. So if they are having an app, we could give them directed and only notifications which concern to them.
Okay, all right. So, but that requires I'm not sure. So who will be overseeing the development of this app? You're not sure about it, right? The office will decide.
We are still discussing with the office. They are fine if they're still not sure if they should allow students to have the backend access.
Yeah, that's a big issue, I guess. Okay, so let's move on to what was it? Foreign faculty mixer. So how will you ensure that you get enough participation for this? Not from student side, they'll be more than happy to participate, but from the faculty, the foreign faculty.
Right. So one thing is the number of foreign faculties is varying. We have a lot of visiting faculties. They are here only for 2-3 months. So firstly, we'll figure out when will we have most number of faculties here on campus. Once we figure that out, we anyways know that 2-3 months before, and we'll reach out to them and we'll find a common time when most of them will be willing to participate, and at that time we'll have it. And I have talked to the Chinese professor, and she was very interested in it. So
I
believe
so the professors for sorry for interjecting, but let me just clarify that the professors for Chinese and Japanese are full-time employees here, right?
Yeah.
Apart from them, you also have a bunch of guest lecturers who come in, right?
Yeah.
And if you contrast it with foreign exchange students, the arrival and departure of foreign faculty is more erratic. So it's harder to keep track for us.
Yeah. So I discussed this issue, and the arrival, we'll know the arrival of foreign faculties at least 2 months before them coming here. And we'll have their contact as well. So we can reach out to them and we can tell that we are planning to have such sort of a mixer. Will you be interested in it? And if they are interested, we'll go ahead with it. We'll schedule it accordingly.
Okay, and you've said it will be an informal gathering.
Yeah, it's an informal gathering.
What do you exactly mean by that?
Right. So, I mean, what I meant by informal is it's more focused on facilitating interactions between students and not just some focus around academia, but also, to know more about their culture, to know more about their stay here at IIT Madras. And I believe a lot of faculties would have stayed in other countries as well. So they could, talk about how their stay in that country was. So we'll have, different sections wherein we'll keep placards that this is to discuss about India, this place is to discuss about academia. So there will be, such corners wherein people can go and talk about that. We'll also be having on the spot kind of an event wherein, sits will be there. People can take it out and read about it. We'll also be having roundtable. We'll also be having Zen Q&A. So it's kind of an info. We'll also be having food and cultural performances. So that is what I meant by informal gathering.
Okay, all right. And you want WCT to ideate about this event?
Yeah.
Why do you think it's a good idea to target foreign faculty instead of foreign students? I mean, you're already doing something similar for foreign students, right? Which will help our students to get an idea of what their culture is like and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
So why this new initiative for foreign faculty?
Right. So I'll tell you where this idea is coming from. If you read the strategic plan of IIT Madras, so one of the major vision of major plan for the next 5 years is to increase the number of foreign faculties that visit IIT Madras every year. So, and like one of the major, like I feel and like what others feel on discussion is, it's like their hesitation to come here at IIT Madras, and students don't know that we have foreign faculties at here. So we'll be putting out the content on IITM TV as well, which will be like the round table that will be there in Mixer, and we'll be having an after movie, which will be put up on IITM TV, and later on the Global Engagement website, it will be sent to the foreign faculties for inviting them to come over here. So that will act as, that will act as a motivation factor for them to come over here.
I get your point, but it is my feeling that it would be a lot easier for you to coordinate this if you had a cluster of small events instead of just one huge mixer gala. Because, for example, let's take the idea of your Chinese professor. Okay, she's affiliated with the Taiwanese government, right? So why not have a program on Chinese New Year, which is something to celebrate,
Right.
and involve maybe someone from the Taiwanese consulate, involve her and a few of her. There are other Chinese teachers in Chennai at SRM and other places,
Right.
and have this, because over there the faculty will be more comfortable,
Right.
and it would also ensure a better utilization of their time.
Yeah.
Right? I'm
So
not sure all faculties, given the language barriers, will be as comfortable having on the spot chats with. While the idea is surely one to be appreciated, it may not be the case that they are very happy chatting up with people who may not be that interested in their field in
Right.
a corner, right?
Right.
So
So yeah,
maybe
it's a good idea. I noted it down, and like we'll discuss it with the team, we'll discuss it with the course, and we'll discuss it with the faculties as well. Like what is some that interests them more, and we can plan accordingly.
because if you're planning informal gatherings, you don't have to be one event, right? There can be multiple events.
Yeah.
That way you get more content throughout the
Yeah,
year.
but the thing is, like, it will require more manpower, and like will be no, like it will be tough to schedule as well, because we have different faculties for very different time. And like if we
Yeah,
if we are going for Taiwanese professors, I don't think we have more. I'm not sure on the number, but it will definitely not more than 3 or 4. So we'll not be able to bring a lot of people in that. And I'm not sure how many people will be interested to interact just with Taiwanese professor. But if it's foreign
Okay.
faculty mixer, that is something interest student that is something that will interest GSB more rather than. I'm not sure. It's like it goes both way, but yeah, we can discuss.
So what's the size of this event you're planning?
Uh,
What do you expect to turn out?
yeah, so I'm expecting 200 students, and like the number I talked is around 10-15 faculties.
Yeah, so that's exactly what I'm saying, right? If you have one Taiwanese prof, like 3 or 4, you break it down, you will get 50 students easily, because the course is taken by more than 50 people. If
Right.
just people from a course turn up, that's 50. Add 20 more, you get 70. You do 3 of these in a year, you get 210 people overall. And it's basically to say that if you have smaller events, they're easier to manage. No one expects a whole lot. You save time on planning, and at the end, you get like the cumulative footfall is larger.
Right. Makes sense. Yeah, I have noted it down, and like discuss it with you more like when we are actually executing it.
Okay. I think at this point, Amal, if you have any questions about any of the programs, you can jump in.
Just to bring it to everyone's attention that we have 10 more minutes and then we'll end the soapbox. So if you have further questions or not, please feel free to ask. Just make sure you raise your hand so that I can unmute you.
So, Ujjwal, my question is regarding the Sati fund. You have mentioned it. You have mentioned stacked office in it. So we have approached this like previously for the process. We have approached the post office, and they told like they declined the idea of having a stacked account under IIR as we already have the ACR account. So they're declining the idea of having stacked accounts. So did you take the feasibility from post office regarding
Right.
this idea?
Yeah. So I talked with those. So there were two ideas that he suggested. One is like I tried pushing him for having a different IR stacked account. He said that he alone has not the authority to decide it. So it can be discussed in board of students, and if everyone agrees, we can have a different IR stacked account. And if that fails, we can have a separate ledger under the Gymkhana stacked account, and we can use that for Sarthi fund. I hope that answers your question, Arvind.
So when you're having like suppose if this stacked account gets approved, and you're going to use it for the same account for the sponsorships, right?
Sorry, can you repeat, please?
Like you will be using the stacked account for sponsorships, and regarding the Sarthi fund, right? You'll be using the same stacked account, or you will be using the two different stacked
We
accounts.
can have separate ledgers for everything, so that's not an issue.
And also, you have mentioned that CRC will be approaching the companies to raise the CSR.
Not CSR funds. If I got your Arvind, can you complete your question?
You have told that CRC will be approaching the companies to get funds for the Sarthi fund, right?
I couldn't
So you
listen.
mean
I cannot
other
listen
CSR
you.
funds? Ujjwal, can you hear me?
We can hear you, Arvind, but your voice is very feeble. Is it possible for you to raise your voice or come closer to the mic?
Yeah. Now, is it fine?
Yeah, much better.
Yeah, so Ujjwal, you have mentioned that CRC will be getting funds from the corporates, like after contacting them, right? Do you mean they are CSR funds?
No, not CSR funds. Because this the category of getting funds for immediate family members for medical needs does not come under CSR.
So actually, okay.
Yeah, it will be a part of corporate philanthropy. And I've talked with Saregama and they were willing to fund around 4 lakhs for the cause. They just want recognition in return. So we'll do that once we help the donor. We'll post it on our social media that thanks for helping.
So whenever we are approaching a company, any other apart from Saregama, when approaching a company regarding this philanthropy work, they do it like all the companies have a rule that they have to fund like they have to donate at least 2% of their revenue into some of their social activity, like something which has a social relevance. So when we are approaching for this kind of event like the Sarthi fund, do you think they'll separate it as they'll name it as a non-CSR fund and they'll give it to you? When they donate it to you, it would be like a CSR fund from their end. So if we are taking it, it would be the same CSR fund, right?
No, it's like different from CSR. Again, yeah, it comes under, that's why I've explicitly mentioned is as corporate philanthropy and not CSR, because like there are very strict laws what comes under CSR. Otherwise, they'll not get tax exemption on it. So that's it comes under corporate philanthropy and they can do it. Like I have taken feasibility from Saregama. I think if we approach other companies, they will be willing to pay it. If not, like the goal will go ahead with crowdfunding. And the main motto of Sarthi Fund is to not substitute any form of help, but it's just to complement whatever we have. So like by the end of my tenure, if we are able to help even 2 students, I'll consider it as my success.
Okay, great. So and also in the industry day, and you have written another exhibition, right?
Your voice is breaking, Arvind.
Yes, your voice is breaking, Arvind. We cannot hear you properly. I think so. It would be better if you can chat. If you can, write your question in the chat. Till then, we can ask other members to ask the question.
Hi, Ujjwal. So this is regarding the RNet initiative that you have mentioned in your manifesto. So if you are aware, ARC had also conducted a similar Higher Ed Alum Connect initiative, which was intended to map UG students interested to pursue higher education and research abroad. So how is this exactly different from that initiative?
Right. So yes, I'm aware of Higher Ed Alum Connect and I'm aware of all the information series that was done by ARC. RNet is basically to club all that and as well as to expand the scope of what ARC is doing and not just restrict to higher education. Research is not only about higher education. We have R&D labs as well, wherein people can go and work. We have industries like Biocon, which are like biotech oriented, wherein people can do research interns. So it basically aims to expand the scope of all the initiatives that ARC has been doing. Will connect all the alumni who are in research aligned fields, be it universities, be it their own labs, be it any industry, will be making that database with the help of IIT and will be connecting students for opportunities like interns and as well as mentoring purpose.
Making database with the help of IIT, I mean office or IIT isn't ready to share the database with us usually.
Yeah, so I have talked with IIT and like what have they said is they will not share the database with us, and that's not the problem as long as we are able to get what we want out of that database. We want ARC to circulate the form to IIT and that will be done by IIT itself, and the interested alumni will be connected to ARC and ARC can connect them to the students.
Okay, and this is specifically for UG students. What about the, like, say the
PG
research? Yeah, the PG.
Yeah. So we have faculty alumni network that encompasses the broader need of PG students. So PG people will be more comfortable and like it will help if they are connected to faculties who are alumni of IIT Madras. And that will help them to both for like we can connect them for mentoring, we can connect them for postdoc or PhD referrals or anything. So that encompasses to the needs of PG people.
Okay, and the mentoring sessions that you have mentioned, are they one-on-one mentoring?
No.
What is the ratio?
There'll be kind of an information session, and like if and only.
And how is it mentoring?
Yeah, so mentoring is not like it's not always one-on-one. Like if you can tell people that how to apply somewhere or like how to do something, it's kind of mentoring. And after it's not like one-to-one mentoring is not the compulsory part of it. After the information session, if the alumni is interested, we'll connect them to the interested students, but it's not the structure of the program.
Okay, and what will be the frequency of these mentoring sessions?
Ms. Kimai, this would be a last question because we need to end the soapbox, so we'll take other 2 questions as well. I hope it's fine that this is your last question, right?
Yeah, after this, just one last question, then I think.
Okay, sure. Your one more last question, and then we're done with you. We'll shift to other people. Okay.
Yeah, could you please elaborate on the mentoring sessions as well?
Yeah, I mean, can you please repeat the session? Do you want me to elaborate on how the sessions will be or on the frequency?
The frequency of the sessions.
Right. So again, since it's something that coming from the alumni, we cannot fix the frequency beforehand. After the database is made, after the database is created, we'll be approaching alumni. We'll be, understanding how willing they are and like when they are free, and we'll try to keep the frequency according to the bandwidth of ARC and the willingness of alumni.
No, because you've mentioned about the offline sessions, IIT will be bearing the cost. So if it's like once a month or something, so do you expect the alumni to come like every month?
No, it's not like that. If like read the feasibility report correctly, I have mentioned if an alumni is willing to come, like if there's a possibility of an offline session, we'll do it. There's no rigid structure of this initiative. It basically, it basically aims to help alumni in whatever way we can without creating troubles for alumni. So we'll have online sessions when alumni are not able to come, and we'll have offline sessions when they are coming here, or let's say alumni coming here, coming to Chennai for another reason. If we get in touch with them, we'll organize an offline session. And if in any case there's a chance of an offline session, that session IIT is willing to fund. That's what I have mentioned in my feasibility report.
Okay, thanks, Kimaya. I think so we need to move on. Ujjwal, I had sent you a question from Arvind. If you can see it in your chat box.
Yeah, just just give me a minute.
Sure, you can take it.
Right. Yeah. So Arvind, like there is like major difference in like the main audience that NetWest and Industry Day wants to cater to. So Industry Day is something that caters to the whole GSB, and it aims to bring industry relevance to the society and bring in connect industry and academia for for CSR funding. Whereas NetWest is like very high profile event. It is limited to 150 people. We'll be calling HNIs. HNIs are people who have income more than who have net worth of more than 5 crore. So it will be a very high profile event. We cannot connect them with the whole GSB. So we'll be connecting them to the limited number of people. And we'll also be calling alumni startups and alumni startups and student startups. in the NetWest, whereas Industry Day will be open for everyone and will be calling, like, it caters to a bigger set of audience. And NetWest is something which is more focused on the needs of alumni, and startups and companies of students and alumni, and not the whole GSP.
Amal, you may ask your question. I've unmuted. Yeah.
Yeah. Hi, Ujjwal, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Initially you mentioned about how you're going to merge the events team of G with the operations and you're going to create a whole new council.
Yes.
That's great, but can you first tell me about your understanding of the present structure of GE? What do the three teams do? What are the work descriptions? And where did you find these overlaps that you're shifting one team to a whole new council?
Sure. So, like, I'll talk of the major events. I think that will clarify where the clashes are actually happening. So WCT has International Day, right? And they conduct it along with events. OT has information session. They conduct it along with events. And events have International Youth Summit, which they are planning to conduct on their own, but they weren't able to conduct it. And so events team has on the fundamental things that have been happening. They are clashing with OT and WCT. I have given some examples. That is where it's coming from, and as well as it's bringing some redundancy in the current structure of IR Council as a whole. That we have two teams that do a similar kind of work, but there are two teams for it and four heads for it. So as of now, G Council is not split from ACR Council, and I don't want any redundancy in the overall structure of the council.
So the aim of the events team was not to be, someone who executes the ideas of the WCT and OOT. The aim of the events team is to conduct their own events which are more academic oriented, right? That's why the International Youth Summit came under the events team. All right. So a bunch of your initiatives actually can technically be conducted by the events team on their own, right?
Yeah, but again, I think
you are. So when Shambho asked you about this earlier, about the initiatives that you'll be assigning to each team, you were listing around 5 to 6 to even maybe, I don't know, 7 initiatives per team. Do you think these teams will be able to handle all of those in 1 year when each event requires a lot of planning and, especially a bunch of them are even quite large scale initiatives?
Right. Just give me a minute. I just take that out. Right. So I listed, talking of OT has events like information session and like Blue Book, updating Blue Book. Those are some of the initiatives which will not require a lot of manpower and energy as such. Apart from that, we have World University Fair, Global Energy Conference, and Resolute, which will take up a lot of manpower from OT. So again, World University Fair is something that will be done in collaboration with G Office and other university fairs. So that will reduce the hassle. The only problem, the only major time-consuming stuff from this is booking and onboarding of the universities, and that is something where an operations team, which will act as a support team for the whole INDR Council, can come and help with. Talking of Global Energy Conference, this is something which will take up most of the time of OT, and I believe OT is capable of doing it on their own. We have a Resolute. Resolute will be an online hackathon. Again, we'll be having professionals from Research Park to help with it, as well as professionals from Research Park and professors from Institute to help with this. And to monitor, I think OT can monitor it year long. So those were, and talk from WCT perspective. So they have two major on-ground events, which is foreign students immersion and foreign faculty mixer. And as discussed with Shambhu, I think we can think of restructuring the foreign faculty mixer, and that will reduce the workload on them. And foreign students immersion is something in which again we'll be getting help from Sangam for the cultural sphere, C5 for technical sphere, and SOC for sports sphere. So that is something that they can easily take care of. And if you plan the timeline before and at the start of the train, a very crisp timeline, I believe that the team is capable to do that.
Yeah, pardon me, Amal. Since we are very much ahead of the time schedule, I'll move to Mrityunjay. Mrityunjay, could you please ask your single question? And that would be the final question, and then we'll end the soapbox.
Yeah, so my question was like how practical it is to make a separate app for a subsection of an institute for a foreign student rather than putting up a section in the student app itself. Because if you're coming from somewhere else and you're coming to an institute and you see there is a common place for all the information of the particular institute, like let's say ITM website, and like if you're a student, you want some information regarding the college campus or like Insta Life, a student putting a section in the student app feels more safer for them. Like they'll have the assurance that it's an official app, everyone uses it, and it will have the accurate information.
Yeah, very valid question, Mrityunjay. And I have thought of doing the same. I have talked with C5 WebOps coordinator, and I discussed with them. And I discussed with the GE office for the same. And again, the issue is same. They don't want to share the backend data to someone like to any student, and that too, if C5 WebOps is doing it, they are even outside IR sphere. That is one thing. Secondly, we have a lot of information coming on InstaSpace which is not relevant for the foreign students app. So the sole motto of having an app is to have a centralized platform wherein only relevant information is transferred to them. So that's why I'm planning to have a separate application for them. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, I hope that really answers the question and everyone's doubts have been clarified so far. With this, we end the Soapbox. Thank you so much, Ujjwal. All the very best for the voting day. And yeah, all are requested to vote on 3rd of March. We end the Soapbox for INR Secretary. Thank you so much. Good night.
Thank you so much, everyone.